thoughts.
I love it. Yeah, Theo, we're live. This is awesome. Theo, you and I are live. You and I are co-owning a team. For whatever reason, we grabbed Jay, and he's in the stream with us. He's already in the stream. So talking strategy is going to be something that's just absolutely out of control.
So
yeah.
A little background is this is Jason Oggs, a great player in his own right. He's our league mate in the Hardway Dynasty League, and Jay was going to jump in our draft last week, and he missed the sign up. So this week, absolutely gets in here. We also have Billy Muzio, who I'm in some leagues with from Fantasy Data. I believe he is picking in the. Do we see him on here? He's in the 2-hole. So I'll give you a sneak preview. It's probably going to be Dalvin Cook at the 2 spot. And I don't know which way Jay is going to go. Any sneak preview on the guys you're looking at here, or you're going to keep it tight-lipped?
We'll see. I never come in with a strategy. I always let the draft come to me.
All right. So, yeah, this should be a good one. I mean, we're starting off July, right? I was pleased with our build last time. We were out of the 12 spot, and we went with a little Tyreek Hill and Antonio Gibson start. So we have what I think is my wide receiver 1. Shelley's on the same page with that. And then Gibson, who we're really high on as well. Jay, what are your thoughts on those 2 guys and that start out of the 12 spot?
You know, I love Gibson. I love his upside. I love his offensive coordinator and the strategy they're running with. I love the fact that he's right there and can be the centerpiece of that offense for what could potentially be a pretty good team. I mean, I'm a pretty big Bucs fan and thought they would be a pretty easy out to start the playoffs last year, and they gave a bit of a scare with that backup quarterback. So pretty excited to see what the Redskins can do coming in, and I think Gibson could be the man right there. So.
Yeah, Jay, my eyes may deceive me. Do I see a backwards Bucks hat? Is that what I see? Nice.
Yes, absolutely. I am a random Buccaneers fan. I played college ball at Columbia. We ran to Tampa 2, and I did nothing but watch Rondé Barber game film over and over. So was bandwagon back in 2002, 2003, but I think I earned my stripes for this year. So
fair enough. Before the draft starts, I'd like to point out, before we get serious here with 2 minutes to go on the clock, that Jay intercepted Ryan Fitzpatrick in his college career. So that's the
let's go.
That's claim to fame. He was the Ivy League Tebow in notoriety, and he picked him off, I believe, multiple times. Is that did I get that right?
Just once.
Okay, I was giving you two in one game, but we'll take one.
I
That's great.
it, though. I'll take the 2, but Prosper, my other corner, who was my colleague in action, he had the other one. So
there you go. So we're ready to rock here. Draft's about to start. Jay, you're a CMC and Cook on the 1-2. We're seeing that every single draft if Kelsey doesn't go there, guys.
Agreed. Agreed from my end. Unless you want to get creative with your build, I think there was some call it Twitter very high-minded discourse this week about what it would take as the volume player started, doing drafts and what that would mean if you got a 1, 2, 3 spot and kind of how you make your team unique, especially using that call it Fantasy Mojo Stack Finder. And again, thinking about bigger tournament plays, what are you going to do? How do you set yourself apart? Because I think that the discourse was, boy, you're seeing a lot of these early teams look really, really similar, and there's not a lot of differentiation. So I think that, I don't know, Theo, Jay, what you guys' thoughts are, but I wonder if July is kind of the beginning of all right, let's start being unique and set ourselves apart, even if it doesn't look as beautiful for the Twitter draft board screenshot.
So I would need to have, shout out to Abib, shout out to Austin, guys with an extremely high portfolio in terms of number of entries, and I would have need to have gotten the 1, 2, 3 many times. I mean, you might do 20 entries and not get the one a single time, or maybe one time. So to me, the differentiating should come at the 2-3 hole, right there at the 2-3 turn, and not getting one of these surefire high volume, studs at 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kelsey goes.
Yep. So draft started. So we'll try not to distract Jay here. Theo, I already loaded the queue with what we talked about pre-show. So McCaffrey went 1, Dalvin Cook went 2 to Muzio. and then Kelsey went 3. We won't distract Jay, but let me put up on the board Grant Stockmeyer, who is listening to the show live. Theo, he's asking our strategy. Are we aiming for wide receiver at the 10, first round?
We like a particular wide receiver at the 10. If he's there, it's no secret how much we love Tyreek Hill. We took him last time, and he'd very much be in consideration if he's here. There's many ways to build at the 10 spot. We were fortunate to get Tyreek Hill at the 12 last time, so yeah, absolutely.
And let's just threaten Jay. I mean, Jay, you're not getting Tyreek Hill if you let him go past 106. That's it. It's simple as that.
Okay, so Jay's on the clock here.
I got my guy.
All
so
right.
I have a top 7, and so at 1.6, I was pretty comfortable with who I would get here. Honestly debating a little bit between these two guys, but this is a guy who I'm going to collect and lock him in right now. This is a guy who obviously was blurbed about this week. I could take him as early as a 1.2, to be honest. I think he's rocket chips.
So we're about to be on the clock.
We talked about Taylor at the.
We did.
We talked about Taylor at the 110. Taylor's been sliding a little bit. I can see what you're saying. He has a lot of the same attributes as Dalvin Cook. But he's younger and more explosive. I guess we call him more explosive at this point. People are a little worried about Nyheim Hines, and I can understand the Hines worry. It kind of caps his receiving upside, but I don't buy into the Marlon Mack, stealing anything from him. I know there's some sharp people on that, but I like your pick. I mean, I talked about Taylor with somebody else today, and also with Shelley. I think he's been a little bit too beaten up and picked apart in his profile. Okay, Saquon goes 7.
Yeah, Theo, we were talking about Saquon because I think that on a GOAT district, we brought this up, right? On a GOAT district proper, right? This is going to be on the Half Milli Billies on the GOAT district network. But on the GOAT district proper, we said, hey, JT, maybe his ADP or early drafting is like 104, 105. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I said, hey, am I going to be able to sneak him in the back half of the first round of drafts? I think the answer across the board was
whoa. Pump the brakes here. Okay, we have a shocking first round selection of Patrick Mahomes at the 9.
I'm interrupted.
Okay, I guess it's Patrick Mahomes' dad drafting at the 9 spot.
All right.
So Theo, he takes them. All right.
Theo, we going 1, 2, or 3. That's the question for you.
I would like to get Austin Eckler here at the 10 spot. We don't have an Eckler share. I really like him. I think it's a strong way to start the draft. I would say we could go Eckler. Or we could go Waller here. I'm okay with either. I prefer Eckler.
All right, let's lock in Austin Eckler.
Let's take Eckler. I think he gives us a potential 100 catch running back. I think he's going to have a phenomenal year. I'm happy to get him. I'm happy to have him on a team with you. Waller was the other one. He goes right after. Waller's been going as high as the 106. He should have a huge target share. He should catch a lot of passes. I mean, he's the focal point there. It's hard to give up Waller and tight end premium, but I like Eckler more, and he gives a little flexibility with what's coming back to us, with the 3rd pick in the second round.
Yeah, hey, Gills and Josh, you got to be unique. That's why you take Patrick Mahomes 109. What's the problem? What problem do you guys see with this? What's wrong with you guys?
With all respect to go ahead, Jay.
I was going to say, Eckler was the other guy who I said I side-eye another guy. I have to side-eye Eckler every single draft because he is a stud. I wanted my only JT share with that one.
This draft is going off the rails, fellas. I like Aaron Jones a lot, but that's a little high for him to go right at the 12th spot, in my opinion.
Yeah,
he's been going. I got him, with the 208. It's not a bad pick. Don't get me wrong. I think Jones is very good, but that's I'm not sure if I would have gone with him for the 12th spot. Shelley, we might have a dream start. Okay, Shelley, this is looking pretty good here.
I don't think we're quite going to have the dream start. I think we're going to have to move on to maybe plan. Call it B, I guess. B1. I'm not counting.
I would be okay with 1 or 3 here. I like 2. I'd like to have a 2 with you.
You are on the clock.
Oh, there it goes. So
I knew
what we were talking about. Okay, so we'll say our queue right now is Nick Chubb and Antonio Gibson.
That's absolutely right. Yep.
We took Antonio Gibson last week at the 201. I'm of the opinion that we should bang that drum again and take Antonio Gibson.
Yes.
I think it's I love Nick Chubb, but I prefer Nick Chubb in like the back half of the second round. He just has no receiving upside. He'll score a shitload of touchdowns. He'll run for a lot of yards, but Antonio Gibson is just that dude. He's David Johnson, second year David Johnson potential. I think we lock it up and we have a running back start, which is very rare for us. Shelley is the Sean Siegel of our team, but we're going running back.
Yep.
Jay, you're on Gibson there. That start, you like that start.
The other thing with Gibson that I think about always, I was a defender in college, and that defense is so legit. They're going to want to control the clock, control the ball on the offensive side of the ball, which just means touches for Gibson, whether that's through the run game, the screen game. They're going to run plays that will control the clock. And I think, just in terms of the touches he'll get, the amount of work that's available to him, there's nothing but upside there, in my opinion.
No, Jay, you're the next of us who are up. So I'm going to put it to Theo, but let me go back to the JT point since you drafted him. So we talked earlier this offseason, like, hey, is he going to move up? I said, hey, can he slip to the back half of drafts? And I think that we were all pretty unanimous, right? Theo was like, oh, he's going to go first. Now, I think you called part of the reason why, but I want to get both you guys' opinion here. Maybe it's his bye week that stinks. That's like driving him further down. Like we all thought he was going to go up. It's like, hey, like if you think his ADP is going to be 105 when it comes August, like you're dead wrong. He's going to be 102, 101, like whatever it is. And we've just seen Jonathan Taylor like slip and slip. Is this 100% bye week related? Is this something else we're seeing, hearing? Like, what is you guys' thoughts? And Theo, since, again, Jay's up soon, what are your thoughts? I know you kind of led with that when you and I were discussing today. Let's talk a little bit more about Jonathan Taylor and kind of his ADP through the summer.
Well, Jay is on the clock now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, which way are you going?
I can multitask. I'm going between two different guys, looking at positions available and wondering if I do this, it'll be a bet that I can get somebody coming back to me. So.
I know your love for George Kittle. Is he in consideration right now?
Yeah, that he is under consideration right now. And in fact, I'm looking out the window. I look at San Francisco from where I sit right now. I think I will go Kittle. I was debating between him and one other guy. I think Kittle.
Who was your other guy? He's not coming back to us. Nobody's. Who was your other guy?
Najee. I was
okay.
Najee. I love the touches there. I thought Chubb as well. I already have the JT with bringing in JT with the Chubb. It feels like I don't have enough running back upside from a pass catching perspective. But I think in terms, especially with the tight end premium here, locking in kind of that top tight end for me is always a decent strategy to think through. So I have a tough time passing up Kittle. If not Kittle, I probably would have gone Najee there. Maybe thought about Chubb.
So Josh in the chat, and really appreciate you, Josh, hanging out. By the way, chat's going off. Like I honestly think, thanks to the content creation of Team 9, they're an absolute credit, and to this draft for the content that's going on. But anyways, I just posted Josh's comment. Dwayne McFarland had some concerns. This is related to Jonathan Taylor about the closeouting of games. Is this the driver? Is the bye week the driver? What are you guys thinking there?
I think that Dwayne is about as sharp as it gets in the industry, and he's a fantastic player. He came on the GOAT District recently, but I think the concerns are valid. And I heard this podcast with Josh that Josh is pointing out. So I don't know. I think that's also it's year 2. They lost in the playoffs. I think that you could see that kind of go out the window. I would expect them to get the 4-minute work. I know last year Jordan Wilkins saw a lot of the 4-minute work. I don't think he'll get the 2-minute work, but I think that he could lead the league in rushing. And I think he could potentially lead the league in rushing touchdowns. So Jay's going to need him to be more of a Derrick Henry, which I think is kind of in his wheelhouse. And he also showed that he's a very efficient receiving back, which was kind of a concern coming out of Wisconsin. So I get it. I get the concerns, but again, I think it's kind of a flat tier between, once you get out of the 103, basically 104 to 204 is kind of a flat tier. It's kind of like go get your guy in many ways. So Taylor going between 6 and 10 or 6 and 11. I don't see a whole lot of a difference. And again, he might rise up in ADP towards the end of the summer. It'll be interesting to see the way it goes. Okay, so Jay's coming up again here.
Yeah,
ahead,
I am coming up, and I have some guys I'm looking at, and just circling back to the JT just to beat the dead horse. But for me, I definitely see those concerns as well. I think if those concerns weren't there, you're not getting him at 1.6, 1.7, right? You're getting him in the top three. But this is a tournament, and in the tournament, at 1.6, 1.7, that middle of the round, I am looking for guys that maybe could slide to that top spot, by the end of the year that have that upside. And from a JT perspective, that bet is all about his talent. It's his talent is one of the most generational running backs I've seen that I personally scouted. Not to say I'm a professional scout or anything, but I like to think I can at least take a look at film and have an opinion. But it's that, and then there's also the other side of it, and no one talks about offensive linemen, but buying JT is buying Quentin Nelson, and that dude is one of the best players in the NFL.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Between both of those two, in terms of the upside that you get there, I'm willing to take that gamble at 1.6. I think if it's not a tournament, maybe you might think about floor a little bit more. Maybe some of the safety, and JT does have that floor there as well. But tournament, you're purely looking at who can grow to that 1.1, 1.2, and Eckler was the other guy I saw that was right there. That's who you guys went after, and between those two, that's the strategy for me. So.
Well, Angie, I'm happy that Theo and we got a draft where we have Eckler, so that way we can also, speaking of Twitter discourse, now we can also join the Buffalo Alcoholic Twitter discourse related to Austin Eckler. So that is honestly invaluable when thinking about content in this day and age. One other question, because I know Jay, you're on the clock, so let me just pose it out there to you guys. I'm going to add it to the stream. Grant asked this a while ago. It's Grant Stockmeyer. He's Tom friggin' Hanks out in the FFPC streets. I asked if Hopkins is first-round material if Tyreek Hill is gone. I mean, to me, I think from a game theory perspective, no, because I think that you can guarantee your favorite, if you will, first-round running back, pick your choice, and then know that you can get a Hopkins type or a Hopkins tier coming back to you in the second round. So at least from a game theory perspective, I think he's got the talent. Love, first year how he produced with Kyler Murray, but I just can't see right now taking him in the first round, knowing that he can slip basically back to you and you can have your your choice of him here in the second round. So, anyways, wanted to get you guys' thoughts as Theo and I are about to join.
So,
Theo,
right now,
you know where I want to go here.
I know you want to get a little pit coin to add your portfolio.
Yes.
I get it, but I got Keenan Allen staring at me right in the face right now too.
Yeah.
I think that if we go Keenan Allen, we would be setting up a potential money stack later on. But I'm not against taking Pitts, but the fact Pitts is there, we might have Hawkinson come back around to us. So I would prefer Allen here, unless you want to stomp your feet for Pitts. Setting up that stack is a very, very enticing thing. We have 18 seconds on the clock here. I'm okay with either, but I would prefer.
All right, here. Let's go Allen to make it interesting.
Let's go Allen.
Gut says if you weren't here, Theo, this is not on you, but if you weren't here, I'm smashing Pitts, and I'm not even thinking about it twice.
So I get it.
I know you've got a preference, though. I know you have a secondary preference, which is why I didn't. But
I'm higher on TJ Hawkinson than you are, and I'm hoping that he comes back around to me. But I don't think that the wide receivers we already have a CeeDee Lamb share together. I love CeeDee Lamb. If he comes back around, I would consider him here. But for me, TJ Hawkinson is look at this. The team 12 might go tight end here if he wants to shake it up. But we're going to get one of the tight ends right now. So I think we made the correct move. it's hard to pass up Pitts. I love Pitts.
I really was. That was so hard. Last 5 days. So I hate if the 11, 12 teams are listening live to the stream. Hey, if you are listening live to the streams, smash the like, smash the subscribe, comment, whatever. Pitts at 310 is the latest I've seen him on the Fantasy Mojo in the last 5 days, at least. The data that I was looking at, I know Guild, who was listening, I don't know if he still is. He was looking at Pitts at the 310 last night. I think he was sniped at the 309.
It is. I get it, but I will say that to me, the opportunity for a Chargers stack is very enticing.
Yeah.
And also, I have Keenan Allen. I've taken Keenan Allen. I have him in a lot of dynasty leagues now. And okay, well, here we go, Shelly. This might be a Kyle Pitts falling to us at the latest he's gone in.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I think 11 goes. I think 11 goes the Waller, Tyreek Hill, A-Rod, Pitts start. And as far as zero running back teams go, that's
a hell of a start for him. I mean, 11
sexy.
has a really nice team if he does that. But we'll see. I mean, we could take. I'm okay with taking Pitts or Hawkinson here. I'm pretty committed to one of the two tight ends here.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's kind of the way the value has fallen. I like Amari Cooper a lot. I don't mind Amari Cooper here, but I think that getting one of those two tight ends in this format in the 4th round is something we can't pass up. So we're going to get one of them here.
You are on the clock.
Boom. Okay, so we got our Keenan Allen, and now we're going to go with a Kyle Pitts share.
Hold on, Theo. You messaged me earlier today. Hawkinson, he's just not going to fall to me, and here he's fallen to us twice. Are you okay with Kyle Pitts?
I'm not. So I will say this: I'm gonna have a ton of TJ Hawkinson this year, and I think he's going to get 130 targets. But I'm not going to pass up an opportunity in a tournament like this to take Kyle Pitts this late. And I really like Kyle Pitts. Don't get me wrong, but I do think Hawkinson, if anything, is underrated at this point. And he's gonna. I hope he doesn't fall. I hope he doesn't fall all the way to Billy Muzio here. But
all right,
let's take Kyle Pitts.
We took Kyle Pitts 403. I am just fired up about that. Look,
we're running pure right now. This team is running pure.
We're running pure here. Look, I'm just gonna the chat is going wild. I love it.
Pitts? No, fourth round Pitts doesn't exist. It's almost like
403 Pitts. I mean, look, guys. This is like YouTube plus podcast form, but I'm going to flash some stuff up on the screen here. Josh, I think you've got to go Pitts.
Josh is absolutely right. Josh is a sharp player. That's. We might have just won. We might have just won $500,000 with that Pitts selection right there. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but
Ryan Turner, great start. Guilds, love seeing him. So sick. Look, when the overhyped sleepers in the chat, you got to respect it. So I'm flashing him up on the board too.
That's a sick start. I love it. I love it.
Dan. Dan says hot. Dan would be so disappointed in you, Theo, for not talking me off the Pitts. That's the biggest problem we have going on here.
So I think that there, even if you're a TJ Hawkinson ahead of Kyle Pitts per guy, you can't deny the fact that this is a tournament and you're taking him so far below his recent ADP. I mean, I'll have a lot of Hawkinson, but I'm not going to end up with as much Pitts. I'm not going to pass up the opportunity to take him there. So I'm thrilled to get Pitts there. And Jay here might get second tight end here.
I'm excited for Jay.
What way are you looking here, Jay? You're two picks away.
Jay, you started one. Jay, you started Jonathan Taylor, George Kittle, J.K. Dobbins. So you're up in a pick.
Whoa!
I started JT. I went. Yep, George Kittle. I smashed my 3rd round Dobbins, and I honestly was thinking in the 2nd round, if I wouldn't have gone Kittle, that I was thinking maybe Hawkinson in the 3rd. So sitting here in the 4th, he's tough to pass. He's tough to pass up. So I think I got to go double tight end.
Yeah, I think Hawkinson. Dan is disappointed right now in me not talking about Pitts. But listen, Dan, we got it's Bitcoin. You don't need to understand it. You just need to own some. And we got our Kyle Pitts share. Bitcoin all the way. Bitcoin to the moon. Now I got my Pitts share. I want to be tight end 1 overall. So let's go. Let's go. But I love what Jay did. I'm not usually one of these tight end guys in this format. But if you're going to go tight end, I mean, he certainly got two guys who are going to smash this season. And and also he got TJ Hawkinson at a very reasonable value. So I like that start. And it kind of opens up for whatever you want to do moving forward because you have running back, tight end done. Exactly. For us, we kind of have flexibility as well, but just knowing the way Shelly and I draft,
absolutely.
Wide receiver is something we're going to be considering. We're not going to reach to get Herbert. I'd like to get Herbert at some point, but I'm not going to reach like crazy to get him. Shelly, you agree with that? You don't want to sacrifice value just to force a stack.
I mean, the draft is both drunk and high, as Josh McAtee says. So, look, if someone's going to come up and snipe Herbert from the 6th round, 5th round from us, so be it. We can figure it else. We can figure it out later. And look, if that's what's going to happen, that's what's going to happen. And again, like you said, I think that you and I are really well aligned in kind of the guys we like here in these rounds before round 10, if you will. Now, I think our better debates come in the double-digit rounds. So I think that we're pretty aligned here to grab some great value, especially when it falls. And look, if we're able to complete that Charger stack, then awesome. We're going to be pumped, fist pumping, throwing my computer, whatever it is. But we'll see kind of how it falls here.
I like the Chris Godwin selection. Seeing him go at the end of the 4th round seems like good value. Jay, you're a Bucks guy. Are you Evans or Godwin right now as your top Bucks wide receiver?
I'll honestly go either. I think they're about even value. In fact, Godwin was my target if Hawkinson wasn't there. So I do love Godwin. And, Godwin's a great player. He had that finger issue last year. Watch every Bucks game. He was not right for the second half of the season last year. And I think he has a lot of upside there. But Evans is a stud. I mean, 7-8 years in a row, 1,000 yards. He pretty much had that locked in. So I don't think you go wrong either way. I think Godwin probably has more upside, but.
Yeah, and I feel like Godwin might have a safer weekly floor. You don't have to worry about the touchdowns as much. I mean, if he's clicking, he's going to catch a ton of passes. But again, I like them both. I like the Bucks passing game. So Kyler goes. Josh Allen has gone. Kyler goes. So we're going to start seeing quarterbacks go off the board a little bit here. Usually in these drafts, when as soon as Josh Allen goes, you'll see people take the Kylers and the Daks and the Lamars. So I'm not sure if this round is going to turn into that. I don't think Muzio is going to go with a quarterback here. I'd be surprised. I like what Billy has done here. He's splitting a team with Dave Hubbard, and he had Dalvin Cook, Calvin Ridley, and then Joe Mixon. They got him at great value. Mixon's been going in the 2nd often, and David Montgomery. Okay, so he goes DJ Moore, which is a guy we would have liked to have had, in the 5th year. So that's a good start for Muzio. Looking at the other builds.
Theo, I put out that threat that if I'm in the first couple picks of a draft, no one's ever going to have an opportunity to take DJ Moore in the 5th round. If I'm 409, 410, 411, 412, if I'm able to pick there, I'm taking DJ Moore, and I'm not even thinking about it. It doesn't even matter my build. Like you can say I'm a psychopath, doesn't matter. I am. I'm not letting DJ Moore flip around to that 5th round. 0% chance.
Yeah, I agree. I've actually gotten DJ Moore at the 502 in this same format, and I love him there. I think he'll start creeping back in the 4th. The guy doesn't score a lot of touchdowns, but he could have a very nice year with all those Samuel targets vacating. Okay, so we got this round seems like wide receiver round. As well as the running backs will start drying up. You're going to see, Fant and Goddard start going. I think Goddard might start being the consensus ahead of Fant with the Ertz news. I mean, people expected Ertz to be moved, but it sounds like it's going to be Buffalo. That sounds like there's a lot of steam behind that.
Do you think that was already priced in, Theo and Jay?
I think it was, because I think people drafting in June are already super aggressive, and you see a lot more sharp people in the rooms. But I think it was already priced in. But I don't think that Fant Goddard was. I don't think it was necessarily everybody's on the one side or another. I think Ty might go to Dallas Goddard on this one. I'm not sure if it would for me. I like them both, and I have them both. I might be Fant ahead of Goddard at this point as my next tight end off the board. but I like them both. And I think that Goddard could potentially, I don't think he will, but I think he could potentially lead Philly in targets. More likely it's going to be, Devonta Smith, who I'm high on. But he could. I mean, there's a path for Goddard to have a great season and get a shitload of targets. So, I could see him passing Fant in ADP. It'll be interesting to see if the market adjusts. Okay, so Odell goes. I would have liked to have got a shot at Odell where we were going, coming up here at the 5'10". Odell's starting to – it's like the market has corrected itself. 6th round Odell doesn't exist anymore. He's starting to go in the 5th as he should.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mike Davis goes. Not a huge fan of that pick right there. With respect to Team 5 structural build, I don't necessarily love grabbing, Mike Davis there with all these wide receivers on the board, but that's just me.
Man, of course, I'm bearing my head. I think I built one Kelsey Pitts team, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I got to go. Mike Davis is my RB1, so in the 5th round. So. Yeah. No, I mean, I get it. I think that's more structural, but I'm okay with Mike Davis. I just don't know with Alvin Kamara already there and you have him on your roster. Like I don't think that I'm taking Mike Davis as well.
So Jay just takes Jamar Chase at the 506. That's
love it, Jay.
Great value.
Love it, Jay.
Yeah, that's my dude.
Jamar's a great pick there.
I love Jamar. He's
great job.
So good.
It's your first wide receiver off the board for you.
First also, one. It's a little late for wide receiver for me. I typically go earlier, but I think that double tight end one, I think locks me down from a pass catcher's perspective in terms of a floor and upside there. So it allows me to get somebody like Chase that can get me, that upside of a rookie wide receiver 1, right? I think there's been how many years in a row where rookie wide receivers outperformed ADP. It's just trying to jump on that, I think.
So Lamar goes here at 507.
So Theo, I loaded a couple people in the queue just so that way we're not totally like blanked out here. I think that we're getting a shot at least one of them. Any particular that stand out for you?
Well, I've one player who I just loaded into the queue. I mean, we could talk it out here. So I just loaded Tyler Lockett in. He just went. Of the players you listed, I like Deontay Johnson a great deal. I think Deontay here offers us another guy who can catch a lot of passes to go along with Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler, kind of like a nice floor for our team. I think the ceiling play would be T. Higgins, who I like a little more in the 6th than I do the 5th these days. I think that Deontay Johnson is the play for us. Yeah. I prefer Deontay here. What are you thinking, Shelly?
Yeah, let's lock in Deontay.
Okay, so we like.
First of all, I'm in DGAF mode. Do not care at all about bye weeks. Just to note,
15 seconds left.
He is the same bye week as Keenan Allen
and Eckler. So that's.
But I just could not care less about this point in the draft, but did at least want to note to say that out loud, speak that into existence. That way, at least maybe when it does matter, we can think about that.
Or maybe we're just bye week stacking a high level strategy where we're punting week 7. And we're just gonna get all the week 7 bye guys. The people listening in this draft just are gonna have to figure it out with our next couple of selections. Okay, so coming back around here, I like the players you have listed, but I feel like this might be a nice time to consider.
You are up next.
Okay, so Dallas Goedert just goes. I'm gonna add one more name into the queue just to consider because he's.
Let's get through this pick and let's kind of work through the chat as well next, Theo, and then we can get to Jay's picks.
Yeah,
I think the chat's been going crazy, so let's get to some of that.
Okay, so we're coming up here. Myles Gaskin went, Kareem Hunt went, Dallas Goedert again comes off the board.
So Theo, I'm a 1 or a 4 guy. I really am.
So I don't. Again, I don't want to force it.
Now you are on the clock.
Okay, so this makes it a little bit easier. So we were considering T. Higgins here.
Yep.
I don't. If we're. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm now 1 or 3. That's all that did for me.
Yeah, I'm okay going either way here. I don't. I don't love taking Herbert ahead of Dak on principle, but the opportunity to build a stack in this, we basically have a pretty balanced team at this point. I think I want
one. I think I want one. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, so I'm okay with that. I think it offers us a high upside guy and gets us our wide receiver 3. So we're going to pass on the stack, and we're going to go with Brandon Ayuk right here.
Yep. So golly. So said we get to the chat. We're going to. So Josh, push us on the board again.
So Josh is a very sharp guy. Definitely with a Twitter follow.
He just reading our queue. We once we took Deontay Johnson at the 5'10", we were looking at T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, or Justin Herbert there at the 603. T. Higgins went, and we decided not to complete the stack, so we did go Brandon Ayuk. But they were in our queue ready to go, and I'm really happy that we got Ayuk there actually.
So I think that we have what we've done here is we have the two, very, very high floor wide receivers. I mean, Keenan's an elite player, but he's still a high floor guy. Deontay's a very high floor, and Ayuk, we're kind of swinging for the fences here. Ayuk is an extremely talented guy, and I think that the market is kind of like, 6th roundish for him right now. There's Kittle, there's Debo. We don't know where the offense is going to go, but I think we're just betting on a very, very talented second-year player with a high ceiling. Jay is up here. Which way are you thinking,
you guys,
Jay?
You sniped me with Ayuk, to be honest.
Oh no, sorry, Jay.
I
hate
love
that.
the pair.
I hate that.
Kittle. It's all good.
Yeah,
good.
Jay, you're in
reach
a weird spot right now. I feel like this is kind of an interesting pick right here. Okay, so you picked Cortland Sutton.
I did. I reached a little bit with him, but I love Cortland. I'm a big talent guy. His talent is so good. I do think he's a wide receiver 1 there. I love Judy. I think Judy's great. I do think Cortland is that wide receiver 1 type. A little bit early for him. Don't know, just based off the way the receivers are flying off the board, if he would have gotten back to me in 7th. But
so I'll
like the pick.
I think that what you did here is you read the board extremely well, because Chase Claypool and Devonta Smith just went ahead of ADP. I have some Claypool. I like in Claypool in the 7th round. And then Devonta Smith, who I'm very high on, he goes in the 6th round. So I'm seeing that this team has Miles Sanders and Devonta Smith. This is the Mahomes team. It's just a very interesting build. He takes Devonta Smith early. He takes Chris Carson early. He takes Patrick Mahomes early. He gets Miles Sanders at value. And then he takes what I think are 2 pretty good picks in Mike Evans and Tyler Lockett. So it's a little bit of a weird build. Kenny Galladay goes right after Cortland Sutton. Was Galladay a consideration for you, Jay, or you have the concerns about him in New York?
I've never really been a big Galladay guy. I don't know what it is. There's just some players for me, it doesn't fit. Some concerns I think in New York, some concerns with the quarterback play there. I frankly just like Sutton better. I would not take Galladay if it made sense on the board. For me, I'm just more of a fan of Sutton, just where he is, that upside there.
I have some concerns about Galladay in New York as well. Okay, so Dak goes. So we might not get the stack that we were looking for, but I think it's fine. We got
and that's okay, because I still have my opportunity to keep smashing wide receivers, which is like I literally was just born to smash the wide receiver button. So
Shelley gets uncomfortable with our 2 running back start, makes him a little bit uncomfortable. So this is going to get. I can tell you that the next few rounds might look very yellow on our side of the board, which I'm okay with too. I love stacking wide receivers with Shelley, and that's why our team builds are kind of fun. But I think the fact that we have Eckler and Gibson, I just love that foundation. I think it's 2 guys who are extremely high upside, and I love getting Keenan Allen there, regardless of whether or not Herbert comes back to us. And listen, I like Herbert, but he's not the end of the world. If we don't get him, we'll still cover up at quarterback here. So Chase Edmonds goes off the board. Muzio on the clock here. He's got a nice looking team. I would be surprised if he doesn't go Noah Fant here. I think you're going to see Noah Fant go off the board to Muzio. There you go, Noah Fant. I've been in too many leagues with those guys, but that's a great pick where they got Fant. And Fant goes about 10 spots behind Goddard. Okay, Trey Sermon goes. So team number 1 has Travis Etienne and Trey Sermon as their running back 2 and running back 3. I don't mind it.
Yeah, with
he's got
Kyler
D Hops and D Hops and Thomas, and he's got Kyler Murray. Team 1's got a nice start to the draft. Very nice start to the draft.
And I think that's a good way, right? Again, we kind of opened with, and maybe that was before the draft started, like how to make your teams unique. And I think that for the most part, they are working on that uniqueness aspect. Sometimes unique can be a nice euphemism for shitty. I think in this case, I'm not calling that unique in the shitty sense. I just I like the ETN, I like the Sermon picks, and I like the mini stack with Murray and Hopkins. So
yeah,
I'm using unique as a compliment there.
Billy also takes Juju there, which is nice. I think that's great value for Juju. Even if you have reservations about Juju, him going in the 7th round, a guy who's shown that much in his career, and the fact that Juju goes behind Devonta Smith, he goes behind his teammate Chase Claypool. I think that's great value. You guys think that's good value right there in the 7th?
I think so.
I do.
Yeah, that is good value. I mean, I think what's he typically going sometime?
He goes to 6. I think that the market's corrected at 6. The market's kind of down on Juju. But he was a top 20 wide receiver last year. I mean, all 3 of them were top 24 wide receivers, and people are just kind of taking their shots. And it seems like it's, we talked about this with John Daigle the other night. He loves Deontay Johnson. He sees the argument with Chase Claypool, being the highest upside guy there. I mean, Chase Claypool is going to get, the end zone looks, and he's going to get the deep looks. So if it's clicking, I could see Claypool just smashing. But I'm a Deontay guy when it comes down to it. I just think he's such a talented player, and he catches so many passes. And people, get upset about the drops, but I don't really care. The guy makes enough catches. Okay, so Jaceki goes. So Jay is coming up here. Which way are you thinking here, Jay?
I'm still thinking receiver potentially. I'm like you guys. Once I get to the point where I'm drafting wide receivers, I tend to smash them.
You're just like in the zone. You just
in the zone.
I'm in the zone, man.
I love wide receivers in fantasy. Thea knows I hate wide receivers in practice as a former corner. So
yeah,
there you go.
They're all
divas to you, right, Jay?
All divas. All divas. They all have issues. Want to be basketball players and weren't good enough. So
there you go.
No.
Well, I mean, I think Higbee and Gesicki going. I think Jay. Let me put words in your mouth. I think you got to be feeling pretty good about already having Kittle and Hawkinson on board and not having to worry about any of this. This mid-round tight end nonsense. You can just totally skip over it.
Sorry for jumping and talking over you. There is a very nice feeling without the anxiety I typically have sometime around the 7th or 8th where you're in some position or thinking in the back of your head. Right now, I feel relaxed. 20 seconds left on the clock, and I'm just looking at my board. You guys sniped me. Maybe I'll snipe you.
Go ahead. Just leave value to us.
No, I'm gonna go this guy here.
Okay, so you go Visca. I like that. And Visca and DJ Shark go back to back. Shelly and I have Visca on our 1250 Triflex team. That's an absolute powerhouse monster. So you're a Visca over Shark this year, guy, Jay? Or are you kind of up in the air? You'd like to get one of them?
Yeah, I'd like to get one of them. I'd like to get a piece. I do like Visca and the upside you might have in Urban's offense, right? With playing that role. I know they have Etienne targeted for a little bit of that, but I think they have the perfect guy in Visca as well. So I think he does have that upside. And the way I'm building my team, he's perfectly fit right there. So if he does take off that upside, he's and it's a really nice flex. And if not, then I have other positions or other guys I can go and get. So it's a nice little spot for upside
You are
right
up
there. I
next.
think this spot offers all that upside. So
Okay, so we're in an interesting spot here, unless this team goes off the rails and goes with their quarterback
it would just be like Team 9 to go double quarterback here.
go double quarterback because he's value based right here. You can't pass up Herbert.
You are on the clock.
Okay, so boom, we got our stack. We were patient.
Yeah.
We took Ayuk, and we still get the stack. So
Yeah, I'm happy about that. I think we lock in Justin Herbert, and we're good here. Yeah,
we're running pure.
We don't even need to talk about it more.
No, we got the stack, and we also took Herbert at great value. Bottom of the second half of the 7th round is about as low as he goes. I mean, I've seen him creep. Ryan Turner. Jay would have done it as a revenge for us taking away the potential San Fran stack.
I think you were thinking it. I think you alluded to it that you were going to snipe. I think you alluded to it.
I did almost take Herbert. And it wouldn't have been for this night. My dad actually played ball at Oregon, so he's sort of I'm a big Oregon fan. I played at Columbia, but Columbia doesn't come on national TV, so I have to
now if you had done that, Jay, I think that we would have tagged this draft as, "Hey, everybody, look at this stack blocker." And I think we would have had the stack blocking army after you on Twitter. So I just got
a DM from Billy, who had built this beautiful Charger stack that we now have as well. So I guess when it comes down to it, we're going to chop up the football guys pot with Billy from his draft the other day. Okay, so we got coming back around, Shelly. We still have some very interesting names in our queue.
Maybe let me add. Oh, you already added him, number 5. I was going to say number 5.
I'll say this: if he's there, I think we take him because it's very late for him, and he gives us sort of an upside guy there. The person we're talking about, Jay, is Michael Carter, who I took him in the 7th round of an NFFC draft recently, and I like his potential a lot. They're talking a lot about him in New York here, and I think he'll have the pass catching work right away. But I think by like week 8, I think that he could get I think the backfield will be his completely by like maybe week 6, something like that. I think Tevin Coleman will get some work at the beginning of the season, so I'm into him. I'm also into the other wide receivers you have listed, Shelly. So I mean,
I just posted Josh's comment. I'm not as into the guy. He was running pretty pure in terms of who I was thinking. I'm not into him. I am into a different wide receiver. We can talk about it once we're on the clock.
So I like Boyd is one that I loaded into the queue.
Oh, I was wondering how he got there because I didn't.
I loaded Boyd. I think Boyd's a great value here.
Yeah. I was thinking 1 or 5, to be honest with you.
So I'm okay. I'm okay grabbing Carter here if he's here.
You are on the clock.
Okay, so Debo goes. Another guy.
I think that's easy. Debo was the guy that I was into here at 803, but he's gone.
So I think we take wide receiver wise. I like Boyd a lot here. But I think that Carter gives us our running back 3. He gives us a guy with a little bit of upside,
and we don't need him. We don't need him. We need him to be available week 10 and on, right?
Yeah, he's a luxury pick because our build is I think very strong. So I think we go Michael Carter here, which is I'd take him in the 7th. So him going in the 8th is great. So let's take Michael Carter.
Let's do it. That's easy pick. I like that.
It's a nice pick.
Okay, so we've got Jay coming back around. Jay, do you have are you looking at wide receivers or looking at another running back? What are you thinking positional wise?
I'm trying to check out for value right now. This is an area of the draft where I really like to grab anyone that's falling, anyone that's overlooked. Just grab that guy that's behind ADP. I'm not necessarily seeing that in this draft, so I do have an idea of which way I might go. I do have the guy loaded here in the queue. There's a couple of different directions, but I could smash receiver again. There's a couple here on the board that are interesting. I'm looking at my team. I have kind of the second year All-Stars team, so trying to think about maybe some more guaranteed production as well. But if this guy falls, I'll like the pick, and it will be hopefully in a not too dissimilar vein from what you guys were thinking in your last pick. So we'll see.
Shout out to Guilds, who was on the Carter pick. Guilds is a very, very sharp player, and he's been putting together some really, really nice teams. So yeah, Carter, I'm happy with. And if you guys notice, it's the tight end run now. So as soon as Billy takes Noah Fant, it goes Higbee, Jasecki, Tanyan, Ingram, and Smith. And I'm surprised that Logan Thomas is not going ahead of these guys, because I have Logan Thomas ahead of the last three tight ends drafted. So somebody's going to get a little bit of value here.
Yeah.
Theo, at least the last three. I probably have him above Gesicki too.
So I have him ahead of Gesicki as well. I can understand some people trying to grab the super athletic tight end in what should be an ascending offense. I'm not ready to give up on Gesicki, but I have Thomas ahead of him. Thomas is my tight end 9. And then I'm an Herb Smith guy, but I certainly wouldn't take him ahead of Thomas right now. Pollard goes. That was Jay.
Pollard goes to Jay.
That was my pick. Yeah, that was.
He's in our queue. We like Pollard a lot. We have some Pollard.
Kind of copied you with your Michael Carter pick. Kind of heard exactly what you said. Was thinking through similar with respect to kind of that he's my third running back. I don't need him initially, but if something happens to Zeke or Pollard just does what Pollard can do and he takes off kind of mid-season, then I have a team that can take off and kind of potentially offset that JT week 14 buy. Was what I was hoping Pollard was there.
And if you get 4 starts out of Pollard, 5 starts out of Pollard, and he also has a little bit of a secondary work as a piece in the offense, which he's shown enough to command some work this year. I'm on that train. Zeke didn't look like Zeke last year. So once running backs show a little bit of a decline, things change quickly in the league. So Zeke should have a smash year in that offense, but if he slips up or if he gets hurt, Pollard is the nuts, to speak in poker terms. You've got Dobbins, Taylor, and Pollard, and all three of them are getting the work you have. You have a nice looking team. Okay, so Melgo goes. Now we're looking at you're going to see some more running backs clear up here. I'm still surprised Thomas is not gone. This is really late for Thomas. I wonder if Billy's going to take Thomas here. I know he doesn't want to, but he's a sharp drafter, and for a guy to fall like that, he could get his tight end too locked up. So I bet you that's okay. So I'm picking every single pick Billy's doing here. The guy's got to tell you. There you go. Good
Theo, you're being really nice to Billy, so let's be mean to Billy for a second. You said he's teamed up with Hubbard. Do you think that Billy's only on fire because he's teamed up with Hubbard? Discuss. Who's wearing the pants in that relationship? That's what I need to know.
I don't call people sharp unless they're sharp. Both those guys are very sharp. So I've talked to both those guys. Those guys are definitely both in on the decision-making process 100%. So they put together a really nice team. I like that team they put together
Be mean to
a
Billy
lot.
segment. You were supposed to be mean to Billy. You weren't mean to Billy during the be mean to Billy segment.
I'm keeping it positive. I'm keeping it positive. I don't want to get blocking our picks and all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna keep it positive. Troutman goes. We're a big fan of Adam Troutman, and Adam Troutman goes. The earliest I've seen him go in a while. He goes in the 8th round. So our tight end 2 potentially is gone, and Hollywood we had in our queue. Hollywood is a great value in the 9th round. So I like what Team 1 has done in a sense. Bill takes Damian Harris. So we have in our queue 3 guys we kind of like. Shelley. I'm going to add one more guy to our queue.
Of course, it's expanding as I'm using my brain. I use my brain for 2 minutes at a time. Maybe I should say 2 seconds at a time. So I added a couple more when the thought occurred to me. So there's a couple more in there, but we can get to them when we're up here.
Yeah, I don't mind any of the guys in the queue.
So
Josh brings up a
Josh
good point.
Josh asked again. He wants to know which of them decided to take Juju. He's talking about Billy and Hubbard. Let me add on that unspoken there, and how much throw up was in their mouth when they decided to do that.
So I'll also give a shout out. Billy is coming on right at the end when our draft is over. He's hopping in the mix here on the StreamYard. So we will ask him that question and figure out who. I know that they took Logan Thomas because it's an absolute value right there. But the Juju one, I'm going to guess they're both on Juju because Juju right there at the 702. I mean, that's about as low as he'll go, I think.
So I was looking at it, Theo, because we asked. I think Jay asked. Hold on, I literally just had it. Oh, there we go. That's actually so 7.2 is his ADP over the last 5 days according to Fantasy Mojo. Shout out Fantasy Mojo. Glad to subscribe there. His min last 5 days 6.3, and his max last 5 days. Oh, sorry, min last 5 days 6.1, and then max last 5 days 7.10. So he's actually got, like, after his ADP, he's got like a pretty quick band to his max. Once the average starts popping up, he starts going. But then it looks like there's been a couple of drafts where he's gone a little, like, about a round earlier than his average.
Okay, coming up here on Jay's pick. Jay, how many guys are in your queue right now that you're considering?
I have 6, but I'm reading the board a little bit, and I might just make a pick to get in front of what I think. I'm just looking at the rest of the teams on here, the draft board. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's time to pull the trigger.
Cooks was in our queue.
So
that's good value there. I mean, Cooks going in the 9th round is. I mean, you could make a case for him to go 2 rounds earlier. He's clearly the wide receiver 1 there. Even if the offense is bad, he should produce, and he always does. He always beats his ADP, and he still gets slept on. Okay, so Jay here on the clock.
Yeah, let me. It's maybe a.
I'm worried Jay's going to take some guy that I really want. No. Oh, okay. No. All right. You didn't?
I wanted to lock that in.
You didn't, but I think that was good to lock it in.
Yeah.
Took Matt Stafford there at 9.
I took Stafford. I like Stafford's upside in that offense. And just reading the board, there's a few teams without quarterback that I know they like to go quarterback kind of around that 9-10 range. So I just want to get in front. I mean, I'd like to wait in quarterback a little bit. But I do still like, potential for a potential stud. And I think there's only a handful of guys left on there that could elevate into that kind of next tier up there. And Stafford, I mean, going to that offense and, the amount of air yards that were available in that offense last year, what Stafford can put together, if he stays healthy, they have a running game, they have the receivers, the defenses they play are okay. I think he can put up some numbers.
So, I agree with you. I'm a Brady ahead of Stafford guy. That's would be my only argument. I think a lot of what you're getting out of Stafford, you would get out of Brady, but it's his second year in the offense. But I like Stafford, and go get your guy. It's the 9th round. You get the quarterback you want. Rojo goes. Shelly, we're coming up here. I think we should go with number 3 on our list, which might not be the guy you want.
No,
I don't. We can't have 2 guys from the same. That's not the team that we want to get the 2 guys from. I think we should listen. We're committed to this sack. It might not happen coming back around. And the guys. So I'll put it to you like this before we make the pick.
All right.
You have 4 guys in the queue.
I'm going to get another one.
I'm going to bet you that
another one.
I'll bet you that all of them are there coming back around.
All right.
Okay, so let's lock up the stack and let's take Mike Williams.
Let's do it. All right.
Okay, you begrudgingly putting it in.
This could not be begrudgingly with a capital B. We went Mike Williams there, wide receiver. So now we got the Eckler, Allen, Herbert, and Mike Williams stack. Absolutely wild. Yeah. So Josh, you're in the chat. Devontae Smith, God, he went 6'4". He went right after we went Brandon Ayuk. I think that he absolutely would have been a thought process at some point in the draft, probably that Herbert pick. I don't think that he was in consideration for our 6th round pick. But we did go Mike Williams, and we're just absolutely committed to the Charger stack.
So before we take our next pick, I'm of the opinion that of the guys you have listed, we can say it out loud here. We both are big Elijah Moore guys, but I don't necessarily want to have two Jets, and I don't want to get to a point where you're starting two Jets. I think we should. Wow, Gerald Everett going. This draft is wild. Guilds pointed out this is a wild.
Well,
draft.
First of all,
let
me flash the guilds back up on the screen. Love having the guilds on the screen. Look, Kyle Pitt. We waited so long to have Kyle Pitts off the board, 403.
Okay, hold on.
And then once Kyle Pitts went off the board, we've just been on a tight end heater, bender.
This draft has gone batshit crazy. Like there's a really interesting team builds here. I think the three of us have kept level heads here. I mean, I include Billy as the third person, and when I say us, but this is some weird stuff. Russell Gage going right here is a little crazy too.
We'll just say it now. We're one pick away. We're going to get one of these guys. I would not have taken Gage over Gallup, Elijah Moore, Waddle,
so
Kirsten.
I will say this.
I would not have.
I would like to take Gallup, or Curtis Samuel or Fuller here. I don't know if we need another rookie. Our team already has. Our team is already. If we want to go rookie here, even though I like Elijah Moore more than him, well, Gallup just goes. So this seems like the time to take one of these wide receivers. I mean, Will Fuller here in the 10th round is just kind of stupid value, in my opinion. It doesn't have the upside, but Will Fuller was brought in there to potentially be the wide receiver one there. I mean, the guy was crushing last season. I'm a Will Fuller or Curtis Samuel here guy. I don't think you take Waddle ahead of Fuller.
No, I agree. I'm between Elijah Moore and Will Fuller here.
Okay, so I think we take Fuller, and I think that there's an outside chance that Waddle's here next in the next round, because he's got a high range of outcomes of where he gets drafted. So let's take Fuller.
All right. Let's go Fuller because we talked about it and we got Jay in the chat. I just don't think Elijah Moore comes back to us.
Okay, and Waddle and Moore might both not come back to us, but
yeah.
I think when it comes down to it, I like both those guys a lot. But Will Fuller has shown, to be a weekly wide receiver one type talent in this league. He takes a 1-year contract to bet on himself in Miami, and it's the Tua has weapons. I mean, Fuller could have a. I'm not saying Fuller's gonna smash, but Fuller could be a wide receiver too, absolutely this year, and we got him in the 10th round. So Williams completes our stack, and Will Fuller gives us a guy that I like a lot. I know you like him, even though you wanted to go a little sexier.
I really wanted
there. You wanted to go sexy, but it wasn't. I think you got to go with the veteran. The guy's a speedster, and he's got Tua, and it's kind of like Tua and him are going hand in hand. If Tua has a good season, Will Fuller gets an extension, gets paid next year, and Will Fuller needs Tua to be good in order to get that next contract. So it's kind of like they go hand in hand. I'm willing to bet on Tua and Fuller, and dare I say it, it potentially sets up a second stack on the back end. We could get a little Tua on the back end potentially too.
I think that I'm reading Jay's face, and so is Josh. And I can tell you that we're not getting Elijah Moore past.
No. Listen, I think that Elijah Moore's a great look. It's a great pick. Elijah Moore's a great pick. But
that was at the end of the day, he does not get past me in the.
There's no way. There's no way. It was all over his face when we were discussing it. It was all over his face.
I think we both walk away. I think we both walk away happy with Fuller and Moore. Fuller, I like Fuller a lot. Elijah Moore is our guy. We love Elijah Moore, but we already have Michael Carter. And when it comes down to it, and we're playing for big money in the postseason, I don't want to have two Jets on there, even if it's their dynamic rookie wide receiver Elijah Moore, who I expect will have a potential for a 70-catch season this year as a rookie, which, Jay gets great value. But I'm fine with what we did with Fuller. Shelly, do you have remorse right now that you don't have more?
Absolutely, always. The second we leave, we did this in our triflex. Oh, God, I can't remember. I mean, we just did a draft last week, and of course, I also drank before that one too. Nevertheless, I forget where we sent Elijah Moore away from. I was like, "There's no way he comes back," and of course, no, not even a shot.
Okay, so
just
Jalen Waddle goes, and Elijah Moore goes. So both promising rookies go. And I'll point out that team what is that? Team 5 gets Tom Brady after they already have Josh Allen. So I think that was kind of like Brady is great value in the 10th. I don't see why they did that with Josh Allen already, but I can understand, if they're a value drafter just trying to lock him up. But Aaron Rodgers goes, and Jalen Hurts has not gone yet. I would expect Jalen Hurts to go in the next few picks.
Wild. I mean, it's Muzio. I mean,
Muzio's going to take. Okay, so he takes Samuel. Samuel's a very good pick for Billy.
Mhm.
Team 1 will not be taking Jalen Hurts. So maybe Jalen Hurts comes back to Muzio here.
Of course they did. Yeah,
this is a weird draft, guys.
Wild draft.
Is like
wild
this
draft.
is a very wild draft right now. This is a lot of mistakes being made in terms of structure. Gilds makes a good point. I think Gilds, they might have signed up thinking this was a best ball draft. I don't know. Some of these picks are very weird.
Well, Gilds was given every opportunity to join this thing. Sent him the link almost immediately.
We would like Josh and Gilds to both to join us in the next time we do this, sometime in the next, 10 days. We'll do another one of these. So we'd like you both to join us.
Gilds has no excuse. I sent him the link almost the second I tweeted it out, and he looked at it, thought about it. Anyways, I wonder what he has to say for himself now. I'm sure he obviously would have loved to have been in here.
Absolutely. I mean, where else? This is the best place to be right now in the GOAT district right now. In football guys draft.
Sponsor alert! Hey, everyone drafted the FFPC. It's great. We're on here. We're doing it. We're doing it live. We're drafting with the FFPC live, and we wouldn't do it if we didn't love it. We're doing a football guys, as Theo you just said. This is not best ball. So some of the picks may be better best ball picks. We're doing the football guys championship for $500,000. I know the GOAT district proper has already had some great guests on there for how to win it. This is the $500,000 Billies. We're figuring out how to win it. Maybe I can win it. Maybe we can split it, Theo. Maybe, hey, Jay, maybe you can win it. We'll see. FFPC is great. They've got best ball. They've got dynasty. They've got these championships. They just started a new best ball tournament this year. $125 entry fee, won $100,000. That's going on.
What is all this team taking 2 quarterbacks?
I already drafted the winner. I sent it to you guys. I already drafted the winner. It was a beautiful roster construction. But anyways, guys, FFPC, you got to draft there, have fun. We'll do these drafts throughout the summer. Main events start up. The slow draft starts July 4th, this Sunday. FFPC, great place to be. We're in the middle of the 11th round, and Jay, you're almost on the clock next.
Almost on the clock. 2 guys in my queue. I was happy going to get one of them. So
this is an anomaly right now. We're in the 11th round, and you have 3 teams with 2 quarterbacks.
Woof.
You will never see this in another football guys draft. I mean, I'm not a naked. I don't want to be naked at quarterback with only 1 quarterback. In some builds, I'll do it. I usually like rostering 2, but this seems really excessive. What we're seeing going on with these, some
11th round, Tariq Cohen. That's
okay. This officially became Party Animal has been partying all day long. Party
Animal came to party.
Party Animal has been partying.
So
I mean, that name is true.
Theo, we didn't get to do this. We didn't get to do this last week, but I want to put first of all, Muzio has already sent it to me in the DMs. But we like to play on $500,000 Billies. It gets people upset. It's all in good fun. You can always name Theo and I as this winner of this award, this dubious award. But we like to play a game called Who's the Rake? Like who's absolutely not going to win? Now look,
I mean,
you guys
honestly, the rake is the person that took Patrick Mahomes.
You say that, but now we have a 11th round Tariq Cohen, Theo.
But Patrick Mahomes. So 11th round Tariq Cohen. You just got to go by hit rates. An 11th round doesn't have a good hit rate. So you're taking Tariq Cohen there. Maybe it fails, but if you fail in the 11th round, big deal. If you fail in the first round, it's very hard to overcompensate that and win the league. So I love Pat Mahomes. I took Pat Mahomes in the 4th round. In this competition, I felt great about it. But for Mahomes to go in the 1st round, you won't see that again all of July. That might not ever happen again this whole month in this tournament. So, unless he's puts up the greatest quarterback season of all time this year, which is certainly in the range of outcomes for Patrick Mahomes, it's still probably not the right selection. Gus Edwards, I thought was terrific value where he went in the 11th round. I've seen him go in the 8th. We had him queued up. That's a great pick right there for you. You get Pollard and Gus. Jay, that's
Oh,
really nice
we're on the
running back
clock.
depth.
The draft is moving, Theo.
Okay, so I think this is pretty easy for me. I'm of the opinion we go 2. We go 4. Or I like 5 here, but I think we can get 5 on the way back. Do you think we should just take 5 and lock it up?
My suggestion was 1 or 2. I'd almost prefer 1, but you could make a case for 2.
So let's go. I want to go 2, which is a guy that I've been drafting a lot. I think that it offers us kind of like what Jay has with Tony Pollard. Let's take Lat Murray here.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna take Latavius Murray here at 11-10.
Good pick.
Yeah. So my take with Lat Murray is I've seen him go as high as the 9th round recently in NFFC and FFPC. He's a super high end handcuff. And I think he's got sneaky value if it's Taysom Hill, because I don't know where that offense would go if it's Taysom Hill. And I think that we all want it to be Jameis Winston, but I don't think it necessarily is going to be Jameis Winston. I think it could go both ways these days. So I like getting Lat Murray. I take him in the 10th round. I'm happy to get him in the 11th. So, yeah, I'm happy with that right there. But I love you getting Gus Edwards there, Jay. Having Gus Edwards in the 11th is really low for him.
Oh, I loved it. Especially having Dobbins in there. I loved grabbing Gus where I did that. That value fits the team, fits the build.
Yeah, I mean, you're guaranteed to get something out of that. I mean, Justice Hill is the number 3 back there. Best case scenario for him is some kind of hurry up work. And actually, the best scenario I think for the Ravens would be to give that the 2-minute offense to J.K. Dobbins and just dump off to him. But who knows? Darrell Henderson goes right after Lat Murray.
Yeah, he was the other one that we were thinking. I think Murray or Henderson here are good picks.
So I think coming back around here,
I sent you a DM. I sent you a DM of who I want. You go, but I just all capsed you the.
So
the
I like it, but I do think that I don't dislike it, but I just think having the structure of a tight end 2 here, I like. We're talking it out here live in the GOAT District. Shelly and I have a good amount of Rondell Moore.
I think that's Theo. To me, I think I'd rather have extreme upside, and I think with the way the board's falling on the other pick that you want, I think we're going to get something that's going to make us happy.
So I will say this: we'll take Rondell here. That's your guy. That's my guy too.
Okay.
It's a luxury pick. I think he's a great talent. But with our
would you rather the other? Would you rather the other?
No, let's go. But I think after this, I think we're done at wide out. I think we don't really need to go wide out anymore because we've got our luxury upside guy. Let's take Rondell and let's lock that up right now. Our guy.
All right.
And I will already predict. I will say that all 3 guys in our queue are gone by the next time we come around. That's okay. But that's okay.
Definitely.
Theo, you discussed. We discussed the guy I'm going with.
Yeah,
next.
Jay, you love Rondell Moore too. We've been Jay and I are have been in the same dynasty league for a while now since it started up, and we talk prospects. And Jay has the same feelings I do for Rondell Moore. I feel like I'm starting to get overweight on him in drafts. I've been taking him so often. But Jay, what's your thoughts on Rondell's rookie season? Not him as his career, but just his rookie season. I see a path that he becomes useful, as does Shelley. Is that what you're thinking?
I see a path. I also see a team that's tried to fit that role over the last couple of years with other guys, a couple of different guys coming through. And I think Rondell just with he's so good. I mean, his freshman year was amazing at Purdue. What he did as an 18-year-old against men in the Big Ten was awesome. I think he can come in to Arizona and do similar. I do wonder with that team, the target share he can get, and I like him maybe a little bit better in best ball and capturing some of what he will get. He will break some. It's just I feel like he could be difficult to pick what week that happens, at least in that first year. But in the 12th round, that upside is well worth it. So.
Yep.
And here, Theo, we've discussed this guy before.
Go, Jay.
Yeah. I'm going earlier in this guy, but I have a hunch on this guy, and I have that hunch. So
The backwards Bucks hat gave it away.
Every draft.
You went Gio
grab Gio.
Gio Bernard here. I like it.
Yeah, I like that. Gio was one we would have considered.
Yep.
I just think Jay's made this point before. What percentage chance do you give it that Gio leads all Bucks running backs in fantasy scoring this year in PPRJ?
I think it's over 50%. You know, you look at that team last year and what Fournette did in the playoffs. A lot of what he did was pass catching and playing that third down back. You know, Rojo is a good runner. He's almost a 0 in the pass game. He stayed a 0 in the pass game. You know, Fournette almost got cut at the end of the season last year. He was sulking, got benched, and literally had to talk to Arians, and Arians convinced him, and the rest of the team convinced him, and he almost got cut. And playoff Lenny came out, but they still brought in Gio. And you've seen Brady when he's on the Pats. You even saw them last year at the Bucks. They love to run that 2-minute offense in the middle of the first quarter. That's what Brady likes to do. You know, it's potentially Brady's last or second to last season. I think he's just going to go bonkers, and I think Gio could be right there to capture it. You know, I love his upside in the 12th round. Love it, and especially in PPR.
Yeah, and I think Jay's showing you kind of how you should handle it in these drafts where he's going and getting his guys. You know, ADP helps you to let you know where you have to reach.
Yes.
He gets Gio Bernard where some people might have thought, hey, I'm getting Gio in the 15th. That's going to be long gone when you start getting into the nitty gritty in July. Go get your guy. Mm-hmm. Use ADP to help you find out when you reach. Don't use it as a map for hey, I'm going to get in this round.
Yeah, and I think that really starts here after the double digits rounds, round 11, right? The second half of the draft. It really is like I think there's been a bunch of pods recently talking about like the hit rate is just so incredibly low. So go and get your guys and go down, call it with your ship or go ship the thing with your ship, whatever you want to call it. But like the hit rate's so low, so you might as well go and get your guys. At some point, it doesn't matter. So you're right, Theo. Like the ADP is a guide of like, okay, where do I have to be ahead of this guy in order to make sure I can get him? But yeah, like at that point, it's just like, hey, cycling through like, okay, here's the guys that I want to have on the squad. Here's what makes sense for my construction. So Gio feels like it's early if you're just looking at ADP. But if he's your guy and he's a 12th round pick, he's just as likely to fail as anybody else in this round. So I like it a lot. Yeah.
And even looking at ADP, I mean, just looking at Fantasy Mojo, I have him right here. He's going in the 13th ADP.
Yeah. Okay.
Jump up and down isn't too much, but
no.
I have to agree with you.
So I didn't see that that he's risen up to the 13th. I think he might rise up to the 10th this summer if it looks like he's a real piece of that offense. I tweeted something out about Gio Bernard, and you get a lot of people coming in saying, "Oh, there's no way," But, I mean, we saw James White with Tom Brady. Tom Brady loves a pass-catching running back, and Tom Brady is the de facto offensive coordinator there. It's going to be the guys Brady wants on the field, and I think that Gio can make that whole offense a little bit scarier with his pass-catching ability. So I like the bet on Gio Bernard.
He's a good player.
He's absolutely. He's got 300 catches in his career, so the guy catches passes every year. Okay, so Bateman goes.
Let's congratulate ourselves. So Jay, Gus Edwards, you took him 11-6. That's going to be his max over the last 5 days. His previous max was 10-9. So huge congratulations to you. And then congratulations to us, Theo. We got Latavius Murray at the 11-10, and his previous max was 11-6. And of course, the guy, let's give the guy proper credit in the 11 spot. He got Darrell Henderson at the 11-11, and his previous max was 11-3. So with the craziness of the tight ends, the tight end bender that's going on, I think that we've had a real opportunity here. I think everyone in this draft, so again, pat ourselves in the back. I think we've had an opportunity to scoop up some nice value here in that 11th round, just looking back on ADP.
Yeah, no, I like of the people I know in this draft, I like the way all the teams are going for the three of us. Billy makes an interesting pick with Darrington Evans, a guy who I'm getting behind. Evans, I think, will have a role there. And again, if you're thinking that Derrick Henry is going to catch up to him a little bit, Evans could have huge upside as the handcuff there. And I know they had him working with wide receivers before they acquired Julio, so they view him as a weapon there. And I like Dave and Billy getting him there in the 13th. Okay, so we see a defense go off the board. a little early for me. Tevin Coleman goes,
Yeah.
which I like the pick of Tevin Coleman there. I would have considered him coming back around, Shelley, so we could have locked up the Jets backfield. And I think Tevin Coleman, when it comes down to it, is coming out there as starting running back game one. But we've seen this story before with Coleman. I highly doubt that he's a 16 game type guy. 17 game type guy. So that's fine. They can take Coleman. It's not a necessity for us to own Jets back. Jared Cook goes off the board.
Yeah, and Jay's up again.
Jay's on the clock.
I'm
Jay, which way are you going
I'm just
here?
value. Going value.
I like that Marvin Jones pick, Jay.
I needed some more. I need some age in that room, and also thinking through having Visca in there. I don't know what that offense is going to look like. I don't know what Urban's going to do. I don't think anyone knows, right? And so getting two different pieces of that offense, just taking a chance, just to see, how he positions that. We'll see.
Jay, nonsense fantasy analysis here. Isn't that just so great the way we think of fantasy teams? Like, oh, you needed to add some experience to your fantasy roster. And
right?
Give to each other. Marvin Jones is like, hey, asshole Elijah Moore, get with the program. I need you to contribute here. I love the way you put that, because that's exactly the way we think about these guys. It's great.
we got to make it as real as we can, right? We have to do something. But
yeah.
So I would have liked
on the clock.
Total snipe job, Theo. Sorry about that.
And Ryan Suckup just goes, which is really weird. That's really weird.
Yeah, who's the rake?
Yeah, that's the rake, fellas. So anyway, here, Shelley, we can kind of talk it out a little bit. We don't need another wide receiver here.
But
Gabe Davis is tremendous value at this point in the draft. If we take Gabe Davis here, we're done at wide receiver. There's no reason to have more than we don't need more than 6. But
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna make a promise, and then I'm gonna cross my fingers behind my back.
I know because there's a player on the board that you want to add to a team.
No,
but I'm saying if we make this pick, we can't really do. Okay, so let's take Gabe Davis. Let's take Gabe Davis.
I smashed him, Theo. We got Gabe Davis. To me, that was an easy pick there. Cole Kmet was absolutely who we were going to take. Of course, we got sniped before the Ryan Suckup pick. He was not the snipe. Cole Kmet was the snipe. But I think that we're doing okay there. I'm really happy that we got Gabe Davis on the board.
So to me, Gabe Davis is interesting. There's been some reports out of the Athletic that Manny Sanders is the number 2. Cole Beasley obviously is very successful catching the ball there, but Gabe Davis is to me the highest upside guy of the non-Stephon Diggs wide receivers, because he's big. He scored touchdowns last year. He led the team in touchdown catches last year. He's the only really big wide receiver they have. I'm a big Gabe Davis fan. And I think between Rondell Moore and Gabe Davis, oh my gosh, this draft is weird, fellas.
we're off the rails.
We're just going to run so pure here by just avoiding going crazy. Okay, so coming back around, Shelley.
I think it's 1.
I guess we could take 1.
Oh, okay. Are you okay? I don't like taking 1. I thought you were into 1. I thought I was being nice.
No,
I thought that was a concession.
I don't really. I kind of it might not be the worst move to take him, but there's 4 tight ends I kind of think are all around him. I think he's kind of a purgatory guy. I like taking 2. I like taking. I like taking Kenneth Gainwell here, who I've been trying to add a lot of. I think that that Gainwell is the cuff in Philly, and he could also have some work in a Nyheim Hines role. I believe in his talent, and I think that the only reason that he's going in the 14th round is because he's a 5th round draft pick, and I've taken him in the 12th round. So I'd like to get Gainwell here.
He satisfies our need for another Mike Norvell Memphis running back. We got Antonio Gibson. You
Yeah,
wouldn't let us
and
you wouldn't
Gibson,
let us with Henderson, but
and
we got
Gibson and
yeah.
Gainwell are boys. You know it. So you get them back on the same team. It's good for team chemistry
Yes,
and all
there
that.
you
So
go. Now
let's take Gainwell and lock it up. Okay,
yeah,
we
that's
got
the kind of
Kenneth Gainwell.
fantasy analysis that we need. We know we're building back the Memphis running back room. I should have used that argument with you when Henderson versus Murray.
It's the locker room narrative.
Locker room,
You
it's the
get
shower
locker room narrative,
right.
the shower narrative, whatever you want to call it. We got a little bit of it. So I like our last 3 picks a lot. Shelley going Rondell Moore, Gabe Davis,
a lot of fun upside.
Yeah, and Mecole's a nice. So we've got the Mecole Mahomes correlation play.
Nice.
So number 9 got that little correlation play. I mean, it would have been okay to grab one of these tight ends that we got queued up, but I think we're going to tight end coming back around.
Not after. And honestly, they could all go on a run here, and I just wouldn't care. They're just so flat for me at this point that I'm just not bothered by it. I'm actually of the opinion
that we take number 4 that's in our queue when he's coming back around, which would be a little higher. And I know it's kind of the not ideal move because, well, we'll talk about when we get closer to it. But I think number 4 in our queue is an interesting selection for us. He's starting to rise up a little bit. Okay, so we've got Jay coming up here again.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a weird spot.
Jay is secretly developing a second stack, and he didn't think we'd see it, but we see it. We see it coming. I'm monitoring
way too much.
Trevor
Theo,
Lawrence stack might be coming up. I can kind of spot that one.
Yeah, although there is somebody on the board that might be better. I thought about that stack for sure, but I don't know. I love the grab. I'm just gonna go. I love the grab these handcuff running backs at this spot too.
Oh, I like it.
Just if the starter goes down, the upside you get in the 14th round, and for a guy that's otherwise sitting on your bench at this spot, you just can't beat it. And I tend to try to collect a few of those guys.
And that's good. That's just good value for Chuba, and also the fact that you have Gio kind of balances it out because you'll have that. That satellite back type guy you can plug in, and then, having a mixture of pure upside with a guy like Gio is kind of a nice combination.
Exactly. I did think
Party Animal goes defense. So another defense goes off the board. So this is a wild draft, fellas. This board is wild.
Yeah, I am honored to have been a part of it with you all, and to the listeners. This is great. We got a great chat going. Everyone, leave a review, send your questions in. Especially now that we're in the end game a little bit, would love to get everyone's opinion on who the rake is. I know there's been a couple comments on maybe that's easier in this board than others. This has been absolutely off the rails. Call it since pick 9. But it's been fun, and that's the beauty of the game. Who's the rake? Because when Team 9 absolutely pumps us in week 1, Theo, we can feel like absolute morons.
When Mahomes will have 5 touchdown passes, and Chris Carson will find the end zone twice.
Yes.
And Mike Evans will catch two touchdowns against the Cowboys on opening night. Yeah, it'll be it's still an interesting build. Let's just put it like that.
It's why I love playing Who's the Rake, because then you can get just absolutely owned in week 1 when you pick the wrong team and destroy you. And as I told you, Theo, team 1 here, they're on a wide receiver bender. They took Brian Edwards at 14-12. I swear to you, and again, he wasn't in our queue because I did make you a half of a promise about wide receiver once we took Gabe Davis. But I tell you, whenever I'm in the draft, Brian Edwards is taken in that 14-15 round. We talked about this last week. And if I'm not in the draft, I'm seeing all these boards, and there's just Brian Edwards on waivers, undrafted. That's just the way it works with me. So
yeah, no, you're big on the Edwards train, and I like Edwards too. I just think at this point when we got Gabe and Moore, it's like we're good. Jay, you're in Oakland. What do you think about Brian Edwards this year as a rebound candidate?
I like the talent. I question Gruden. That's really where I question. Yeah, it's such a tough offense for a young player to learn. and you can see some guys take a few years to develop into that. So that's my only concern with Edwards. I do love the player, and last year I'm in a lot of dynasty leagues. I hammered him in rookie drafts wherever I could. So I hope he picks it up this year. I considered him at my last pick, and I'll actually consider him for this upcoming pick as well. Yeah, not super excited, but I think he could be okay. Just it's Gruden, I think, that question for me. But this guy here for me.
I like it.
One of the post hype guys that I'm on.
I like that. I like that too.
So Jay, you took Paris Campbell there at the 15-6.
Yeah, Paris Campbell at 15-6. I think his ADP has been about the 13th round, so there's a little bit of value there. But then thinking new quarterback, who knows what happens with Ty? Michael Pittman was great last year, I thought at times, but then other times was hurt, disappointing, and who knows? Wentz is a new quarterback coming in. Sometimes those guys like to target certain guys, and I think Paris Campbell, a former second round pick, could be right there. We'll see.
So Shelly, with our pick coming up, I know it's a little bit of a weird selection, but I would rather take the person I'm moving to the top, Hayden Hurst here. Even though we have Pitts, I think Hurst is a value here in the 15th if he's there. What are your thoughts?
Don't like handcuffing my running backs. I don't like handcuffing my tight ends. I think it gives a level of safety. I think that we can feel good about the first couple of weeks. I don't mind being aggressive on the waivers with tight end. Wouldn't be my preference. I'd probably go 2, but also I have a real 2 problem.
So 2, I think 2 is almost more of an undefined role than Hurst. So 2 would be OJ Howard. OJ Howard, we're assuming he's gonna. If I'm the coach of the Bucks, I have OJ Howard out there, but Gronk's gonna be there. I think OJ Howard has some question marks at this point. Jay, what is your thoughts about OJ Howard at this point?
You are up next.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think there are some huge question marks. Gronk's out there. The other guy that's there, that's a really good player, former Ivy Leaguer, Cam Brate. He's still right there as well, and does pick up.
It's too crowded for me.
Also. It's crowded. Yeah.
Shelly, we're right here. I'd like to get Hayden Hurst.
Okay.
And we will have, he could be the number 3 target in Atlanta. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities. It should be Gage, but Hurst will be, 10% target share guy potentially. And let's take him.
Yeah, let's do it. Lock it up.
And if Pitts misses a week, you plug him in there, and it's a very odd selection because we have 2 tight ends from the same team, but he's the best tight end left on the board, and we'll play the waiver wire. And maybe we'll grab one other tight end later in the draft, but it dries up. Okay, and coming back around, Shelly,
I like number 2, but that's another first year player.
We had number 2 last time as well.
But we did.
We forgotten. I would say here, I'm going to cue one more player in there. I'm not opposed to taking a shot on Damian Williams. I think that this is kind of like the guy that people are kind of sleeping on a little bit. I think he's better than Tariq Cohen, and I think that he could be a useful player. But the player that we probably should take is number 4, who we're both pretty high on number 4.
Yeah. I like that one.
I think Devontae Booker is the one that we take. If Saquon misses any games, Booker should see this very similar volume. They brought him in. I think we take him. What do you think, Shelly?
Yeah, that's easy. Easy pick.
Let's take Booker. Okay, so we take Devontae Booker. Done.
Love that pick.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So we get
somewhat.
Yeah, I mean Booker. If you have reservations about Saquon, you have to take Booker. Shelly and I have a dynasty team we split where we had Saquon. We took him at the 110 in a triflex, and we took Booker, later on. So Muzio has not taken a quarterback. Let's see which quarterbacks Billy is going to take. Billy might go Baker. I could see Baker. Yeah, I like what you queued up here, Shelly.
Yeah, I knew I knew you would.
You know I'm a sucker. I can't live without him. So
that was just such I was just trying to appease you after I forced your hand on the Rondale Moore pick. I've just been trying to like, hey, how can I suck back up to Theo after I forced the Rondale Moore on him?
Listen, I you know me. I'm happy to get Rondale Moore. It did the Rondale Moore pick kind of is the reason that we had to we missed tight end by going Rondale.
Yep.
And that's a sacrifice. But again, we take Kyle Pitts in the 4th round. He's going to return 4th round value without a doubt. So I feel fine with it. We got Rondale Moore. We love Rondale Moore. Can't second guess it.
With some doubt, Theo, but we're willing to make that bet. And look, if we're wrong about Kyle Pitts, then there's other bigger issues on our roster that Cole Kmet is not necessarily gonna. Yeah, alone.
If we miss on Kyle Pitts, this team is not finishing in the top 2 by any means. So I think that's a fair bet to make.
There you go.
We're not drafting to finish 4th. We're drafting to finish in that top 2 or take risks. Okay, so Manny Sanders goes. Be right back.
So real quick, I passed it for 2 rounds.
Yeah, Jay.
I did take the stack. I did check Trevor Lawrence. He's staring
me in
the face for really 3 rounds. I was looking at him kind of the round before you mentioned, but I had to go with it. Need the second quarterback. I sometimes only go single quarterback in single QB leagues, but I think with a Stafford, it's a little more injury prone and that potential stat there.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Guilds about this today. I'm not going to divulge his strategy, but just what you went Stafford in the 10th round. You followed up with Lawrence here, as you mentioned, with the sneaky second stack in the 16th. Jay, is it just team construction, team build that drives whether you're going to go naked quarterback or that second quarterback? Is it just so happened how the draft fell today?
Yeah, it's just how the draft fell. Typically, it's team build. I feel like if I hadn't gone double tight end or I was chasing a position, I might, take that extra position there instead of that extra quarterback. But I feel pretty good at tight end. I feel okay at running back. I feel okay at receiver. And Stafford is, part of the reason I think Stafford does drop is he does have that little bit of an injury risk there. So I do like to get, with a Stafford. I rotate between Stafford, Brady, some of those quarterbacks. I do like to get, if I do go there, that second guy in there. And also the questions around Stafford in the new offense, right? He could fall. He could fall on his face in it. You don't know. So just having that level of, quote unquote safety, I guess, is for me just makes me feel better.
No, that makes sense. My thesis on this argument earlier today went. And I'm paraphrasing extremely here, but I'm best as a scared little animal. and if I backed into the corner, I'm much better at making like a good in-season decision. So I felt like last year the situations where like I had a second quarterback like in hand, like I didn't end up making an optimal decision because I was like, all right, I have a second quarterback. And I feel like the teams where I only had one or I was like naked, like I felt like I was like much more aggressive when I needed to be. So again, like that's my thesis. I just felt like, I operated better in season as the scared little animal backed into a corner. I absolutely had to make a move. Now, I don't know if that was a product of 2020, COVID, like whatever. But anyways, point being, I much rather go naked through the summer than I would a second quarterback. But again, I don't know if there's studies, data, or whatever, but that's just personal preference.
Yeah, it is personal preference. I mean, the other thing that's second quarterback for me, just my personal preference along with that, I wouldn't go like a Baker or someone like that for my second quarterback. I would go Lawrence or somebody that, someone we don't necessarily know about yet and how they look in the league. Because if they take off, right, your second quarterback can all of a sudden become your first pretty quickly. If
the unknown.
Hit like that, so. Yeah.
The old Family Guy, it could even be a boat. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like we can get the boat,
the mystery box.
The mystery box. There you go. Yeah.
The boat or mystery box. Yeah. I'd like to point out that we see a very, very odd Justin Fields, Trey Lance that combo, which I really like Lance a ton, and I like Fields. In Dynasty, I love them both, but I have Lance as my quarterback too on a number of teams, but having both of them is risky because you might not have a week one starter with that. Okay, so
You
Shelly,
are on the clock.
we're on the clock here.
Theo,
I'd like to
Yep.
take my guy. We need a quarterback too, and both teams behind us have 2 quarterbacks rostered. So I think that we should take my guy here.
You're number 3, right?
Yeah, unless you want to take number 1, which makes
Well, here's
not the
what I was
worst
going to
pick.
say. So let's do number 3 first. So let's talk about him. Jared Dokes, he's your guy. No, so Josh, Ramondre Stevenson unfortunately went at the beginning of this round, 1701. Let's go Jared Dokes. I love that. Theo, I'm going to challenge you on the we need QB2 because I was just saying I'm out. So you nailed the 2 players I was thinking about. I want to go 3 and 1 in some kind of order here.
So let's take Dokes. Let's get him.
Yep. Got Jared Dokes on the board.
Okay, so I don't really care about. I know we have 2 tight ends from Atlanta. We're going to have to grab 1 tight end off the waiver wire. Samaje is a great pick there too. Whoever just made that, Samaje was queued up for us. Some sharp people are on Samaje right now in this time of the draft. He's the clear cuff to Mixon in my opinion. Okay, so coming back around, I don't think we need to go tight end. I think I kind of would like to have a second quarterback.
Another really fun one, Theo, at the bottom of our queue.
So I don't like that one. I'm kind of off that one because of the person who just went. I like him as talent. I just don't know. I think he might get. He might not be there. Dawson Knox goes. So it's kind of the bottom of the barrel tight ends right now.
Do you want a kicker or defense before the last rounds?
I do it sometimes, but we've seen a number of them go. So I don't really think it's
imperative.
There's not a whole lot of value there doing it.
Yep.
So I think that we should go with. I mean, I like taking number 3. I would like to get Tua if he comes back to us. As our, I think that Tua has a lot of upside. We haven't. I'd like to go Tua here, Shelly, as our quarterback too. Unless you're opposed to it.
I much prefer with Herbert and where we got him to go naked quarterback and see what happens over the summer. I like number 1. I know we grabbed number 1.
So if we grab number 1 here, we already have a share. I'm okay with grabbing him. So basically, we're between Dan Arnold.
Or we could take a quick chat and go Conklin, Arnold, or Harris, since McAtee's putting that in the chat.
Yeah, I think I'm not
we
so sure
we were debating Arnold. Arnold was the big debate with us.
Yeah, I think we go Arnold here.
Here, Theo, how about I do this? Let me just throw you a curveball. We're gonna go Tua. Just to have
let's do it. That's fine. I'm okay with it. We'll go.
I think that you're going to feel happier. I'm a giver here in this relationship. We went to. I think that preference would be some kind of tight end there. I like the Arnold upside there. He was who I was interested in with that Dokes pick. I was interested in either Jared Dokes or Dan Arnold. But to your point, Theo, we did get Dan Arnold in the last draft.
So I don't mind Arnold here. I mean, I know we only have the Atlanta tight end. It's not necessarily the best strategy in the tight end premium to only be exposed to one team's tight end, but I think we're just gonna have to get by that 1 week. And I'm okay doing it. I believe Atlanta has an early bye.
Yeah, week 6, I think.
So it's week 6. So we're gonna have to get going. But it's fine. It happens every year. You think last year, Logan Thomas, Ferguson would have been usable. You have whatever's going on with the Jets right now. So yeah, we're fine.
Hey, people spend a third of their fab budget on Drew Sample that 1 week. That was fun.
Drew Sample. Drew Sample had a lot of believers. I believe Jay in our Hardway Dynasty League, a player to remain nameless because we don't want to put him out there, spent like 45% on Drew Sample, thinking Drew Sample was going to continue. Because I believe that was the game against Cleveland where Sample had like 9 catches and it looked like he was going to be Burrow's guy. But it just did not. It did not happen.
I hope it's not present company. Don't tell me it's President.
No,
Humphrey.
it's not. It is absolutely not Jay.
Oh.
I would not put. I would
No,
not. I
it
would
wasn't
not
me.
put it out there like that.
Wasn't me.
Somebody else though. Somebody else though
Okay,
that we know.
alright.
That we know.
Although he did catch me in another league, so I'm not unscathed from him. But
You did. Everyone got burned by juice sample last year.
Everyone
so
got
burned
one
by juice
one
sample.
away.
Well, you know, I mean,
So-
Fab is a funny thing. I got burned by Dearness Johnson. I had hopes that he would be a thing. So you know, hindsight is 20/20. Elijah Mitchell, nice pick. He was in our queue.
Yep.
I think Elijah Mitchell has a path.
Yeah,
He's very talented.
really
And
good.
of
So
course,
we're basically
now
down to kicker and defense.
Yeah. Well, we'd have to be, otherwise we'd be on this live stream and just embarrassingly not have an actual compliant team. So
Yeah.
that would be something.
So kicker wise, we have one kicker queued up. I'm going to put one more out there.
Yeah.
I'll put
Yeah,
one more.
How about that for calling the shot? Hey, we need a kicker. Everyone else needs a kicker too. And here we go, just adding one to the queue. What a wild group. Don't take our one guy, Jay.
I'll try to. I still have to pay you back.
That's right. Yeah, you well, first of all, we owe you for letting the Justin Herbert slip back to us. That was very nice not to be a stack blocker. That was
So,
great. That was my highlight of the draft.
If you had drafted Ayuk to go with Kittle, would you have been trying to grab Trey for your stack, Jay?
100%. Yeah,
100%, right? Yeah, that would have been a great move.
Yeah.
And for us, it was. I mean, I like our pick of Brandon Ayuk a lot right there. Gives us some exposure to Ayuk, and again, like with our structural build with Allen and Johnson with Ayuk, I think it's just I really like it a lot. And then Mike Williams is like the key to our stack. If that offense goes nuclear and Mike Williams has a wide receiver 2 finish, then that'll be a really fun stack to use. So I know, Shelly, there was guys you wanted ahead of Williams there, but are you pleased with it now that it's on the team?
I'm just going to say yes, but that elusive Elijah Moore he's just always going to make me think about what could have been with all these teams.
Every time on Elijah Moore does something nasty on Red Zone, Shelly's going to shoot me a nasty DM. But yeah, Elijah Moore's going to be fun.
I need to get him in the hard way. I need to grab him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're not going to get him in the hard way because Lance at Sports Betting Man, who's a fantastic Twitter follow and a really sharp dynasty player, has compared Elijah Moore to Antonio Brown. So Lance is not going to give up Elijah Moore. He values Elijah Moore as the wide receiver 2 to Jamar Chase in this whole class.
And I was just trying to think, Theo. I was like, I thought I had Elijah Moore in the hard way, but no, I have his brother. I have Ron.
You have the other Moore.
Yeah, I have the other Moore brother. So, anyways,
Let me ask you both. Going back to the San Francisco stack, do you think this is the cheapest a Kyle Shanahan stack will ever be?
I mean, certainly with Trey Lance,
quarterback, yeah.
I mean, Trey Lance is just. I mean, I love Trey Lance. I'm really coming around to him. I've actually seen some sharp people wait on quarterback, and they take Trey as. I'll just backtrack. I said Baker would go to Muzio. He did. So I predicted about 6 of Billy's picks. I'd like you guys to point that out when he comes on the stream here.
Yeah. Yes.
But Lance, I've actually seen some sharp people. You take Lance a little bit early, and then you take your starting quarterback after him. So it's a great way to go late QB. You just basically need somebody to cover for. I mean, how many weeks can they keep Trey Lance on the bench for Jimmy Garoppolo? For me, it might be like 2-3 weeks. Let's say Jimmy starts out with a very good winning percentage. If the team starts out 3-1 or something, it might take 6 weeks, but it's going to happen. So you go with just a guy to get you by. You could even go with Ryan Fitzpatrick or somebody late. So it's interesting to see how it's going to shape out. But I really like getting Trey Lance in these drafts. All right, Shelly. What are you thinking here?
You are on the clock.
I don't know. Let's pick our favorite kicker of the remaining. I don't have a preference here.
Okay, so I will take Daniel Carlson.
Nice.
All right.
What a
reliable kicker.
What a riveting pick here in round 19.
And then we're gonna have to go with our defense. coming up. Let me pull up my. Let's look for week 1.
I actually added. I added 2, but I think I like the second one more. To be honest with you. So here's a question. Let's do everyone here again. We're just thinking about defenses. So Josh asked, now that draft's done, basically done, kickers, defenses, is there any earlier pick that you would do differently? While you guys think about it, I'm going to start. I'm actually going to go a little bit crazier because I think that, Theo, you and I were aligned in the 11th round. We ended up going Latavius Murray. I think both of us were thinking a running back there. I think that we would have debated Murray versus Henderson. Having said that, that's not where I'm going to go. Who cares? Picking between the two of them. I think
I like Kansas City here.
Same.
Our defense.
Same. Good. That's what I wanted. Yeah.
So with Josh's question, I mean the regret I kind of have is a little bit with a guy I love, Rondell Moore, because if I knew Gabe Davis was coming back to us in the 12th, I would have liked to have gone with a tight end there, get a Jonnu, get a Hunter Henry, get a Cole Kmet, who we're very high on, and take him where we got Moore. And then we would have had Gabe Davis and Shelley. You would have gotten your Brian Edwards.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. So like, I'm going to flip that on you. Like, I think that I'd rather give up the running back there, give up Murray, give up Henderson. Who cares about that? I think that what if we went tight end there and still got Rondale? I think that we're very similarly happy because we've still got 2 stud running backs. We're really happy with Eckler and Gibson. We've still got Carter for some upside. We end up getting Gainwell, Booker, and Dokes for some upside. And I think that we're a little bit happier. So I'd almost say, strangely enough, I know you attacked the Rondale, or attack, nice word. I know that you were targeting the Rondale pick as switching. I say switch the running back. I wonder if I think that we're happier if we take running back out there, flip in the Jonnu, the Henry, the Kmet. Like, I wonder if we like that structure a little bit better. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, you could go both ways. I kind of like having Lat as the running back 4 with that build. I mean, you could go hindsight 2020 on everything. I mean, we could have gone running back where we got Ayuk. We wouldn't have liked doing it, but getting a Javonte there is not the worst thing. So yeah, I like our build. I like Jay's build. I like Billy's build. I thought team 1 had some good things about their team. I liked how they started. And then I thought they took Troutman a little early, but I liked the talent. It kind of offsets Higbee. And I don't know why they took Hurts when they had Murray, but Hurts in the 10th round is fine value. Maybe it was to set up the stack with Rager, but I'm not sure. And then other than that, yeah, I think Billy had a very good draft.
Jay, what about you? Is there any high, now that your draft is really done? You took Quintez Cephas here around 20. Is there any pick that you would redo?
Yeah, just initially I thought the Kittle pick in the 2nd round, and I saw some of those top tight ends falling, especially getting Hawkinson where I did. Immediately early in the draft, felt like maybe I could have gone a different player, maybe running back or receiver at that point.
Yep.
Although the way the draft fell, I started to feel more comfortable with it. I think looking back now, I might have gone Cooper Kupp over Jamar Chase. I love Jamar Chase, but just the way that I did go back and forth between the two of them, and the way, that I have a little bit of hope in my receiver core, a little bit of upside hope there. The Cooper Kupp would have probably walked in a more solidified vet, I think. And also he played with my brother, Eastern Washington, so I think about that. But, other than that, I did like how my draft turned. Obviously picks here or there probably could have done a little bit better, but, especially the second half of the draft, I really like how it fell.
I like a lot of the things you did. And welcome Billy Muzio from Fantasy Data. Billy, we loved your draft. I thought that
thanks, boys.
The 3 of us, I thought, had 3 of the stronger drafts, and I thought that you did some really, really nice things. I actually predicted about 6 of your picks, so you and Dave have a tell on certain things, but I like what you did. I thought the going Baker extremely late. I know you have an MVP bet on him. Why don't you tell us what you think about Baker this season?
I love Baker. He's my 12th ranked quarterback for the year. I love the upside that he has. Odell Beckham coming back. This is really the first year that he has inside the system with 2 years under his belt. He's had a different offense every single year for his career, with the exception now of coming into 2021. So I like him as a dark horse for MVP. I like the team as a dark horse for a Super Bowl candidate. Anytime that a quarterback can outperform their ADP, it's going to really help lift not only the players around him, but your fantasy team. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers last year going around 11. Look at Josh Allen last year going around 11. All those guys are league-winning quarterbacks with that type of value.
Yeah, I thought it was a great move. You basically, we all talked about it during the draft. A couple of these teams went completely off the rails. This is one of the wilder boards you're going to see.
Team 9's the rake.
Yeah,
Team 9 is certainly the rake.
A million places. You want to play Who's the Rake right now and just get it out of the way.
It's already been decided.
It's Team 9. It's not even close. I mean, Pat Mahomes could throw 70 touchdown passes, and he's still the rake no matter what.
He could have built that team when he started in round 2 or 3.
Yeah, no, you're right. He basically could have just taken Austin Eckler or Darren Waller or any Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Antonio Gibson, pretty much anything, and then just done the same thing with Mahomes and probably gotten Carson where he was picking in the 3rd round. That was very interesting. We had a couple questions. Logan Thomas, I predicted your pick. Was it you took Logan Thomas there because it was just outstanding value, or was that something where you want?
It's actually the first Logan Thomas share I own because he's been going on average at the end of round 6, sometimes in the middle to the end of round 5. We're seeing 2 to 2.5 rounds of value there on Logan Thomas. Also knew that we had a potential of possibly getting Curtis Samuel. We were actually thinking about taking him there at pick 9. David's a little overweight on Curtis Samuel, and I'm getting there. He led the league as number 12 receiver last year in fantasy points per target. So to be able to get that type of receiver in round 9/10 is just outstanding value. But really, honestly, round 8, 9, 10, and 11, every single one of those picks was a full round of value or more on this board. Logan Thomas is 2 rounds. Damian Harris is 1 round. Curtis Samuel is 2 round. Jarvis Landry is 1 round. I'm a huge value-based drafter. You know this. Hubbard, I talked into Jarvis Landry here. He doesn't really like, but at the full round of value, knowing that I could probably talk him into pairing with Baker later was kind of the idea here.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Jarvis Landry there. And again, we had Samuel queued up. We went Will Fuller over Samuel, which is another guy that went a little later than he should. It just kind of shows you that when people kind of go off the rails in these drafts, it creates pockets of value for other drafters. And I thought, we all took advantage of it. We got Pitts late. Jay got TJ Hawkinson late. So things just kind of shaked out that way. Is there any other team builds that stand out to you, Billy?
I mean, we liked your build. We were joking around. We said it's very similar to the build we did last night on the FPC. Difference is the 10-hole versus the 5-hole, and a couple picks within there. We're not afraid to go against the grain though for ADP as well. If we like the players and with the amount of entries that we have, we're going to try to diversify, and we're going to look at whatever we can to build unique rosters. We also, we're talking about a few other teams here. We liked the start in the beginning here of Team 6. I wasn't crazy about his build from the second half.
That's actually Jay. That's Jay. That's Jay right here in the chat.
Right.
Oh, is it? I loved the start. I did. I wasn't. I loved the first 5-6 picks. I wasn't crazy about the second half of the draft as much, but he had some great value there with Dobbins and some great value with Hawkinson. It's a very unique team. So I think that's definitely something he's got going for him.
Before you move on, I want Jay to react too. But the good news for Jay, I'll just say, is he liked the second half of the draft. I think they were called the Jays guys. So if you from the outsider perspective are loving the first half and he's excited about his guys in the second half, I think that's all you can really ask for draft results. Get your guys and have some positive dart throws in the first half of the draft. So
yeah, absolutely, and I love his dart throws with Chuba. I love his Gus Edwards pick. I'm a huge Marvin Jones fan. There's just a few other picks that I'm not quite keen on, but overall, it's one of the teams I'm mentioning here, so it caught my eye. Yeah. But I particularly liked your guys' build in 10. I think there was a pretty competitive room outside Team 9, which kind of threw everybody for a loop, and value kind of fell across the board everywhere. I was really hoping Chubb would make it back to me and get a Dalvin Cook Chubb start. There's only one of them in the tournament. That would have been Team 2.
Nice.
Yeah, that would have been wild. I thought one thing we talked about before you jumped on was Team 11 going with Lance and Fields. That's, to me, neither one might start week 1. I thought that was kind of interesting. I like both those guys as my quarterback too, but you'd want to have a guaranteed starter for week 1 with those guys, and I would just pick one and go with it. What do you think about that, Billy? Too aggressive?
And the beginning of, especially right now in July, June, and go back to even May, the beginning of these drafts, I'm not a 2 quarterback drafter. I'm more of a dart throw guy. I'm taking another running back dart throw. I'm taking like a Javian Hawkins. I'm taking Elijah Mitchell, which, by the way, you did take, Jay. So I like Elijah Mitchell there, especially the value in terms of like where he's at on the depth chart. I think he has a bit of surprise to upset some of the other people ahead of him. But I do think that it's taking those late round draft darts that are really going to help your team, because let's face it. I mean, he may. Justin Fields may not start week 1. I mean, in Trey Lance, like you said, may not start week 1. He may find himself having to pick up another quarterback here. He may be dropping his round 12 pick. He may be dropping his round 14 pick. I mean, I just got a locked in starter in round 18. I'm fine. You know what? If Baker, the first week they get the Chiefs, great. It's going to be a shootout. But if he doesn't perform, great, I'm fine. I can drop my round 18 pick and I'll pick another quarterback. I'm not worried about it. Or if Baker goes down in camp, I'm not worried about it. There's waivers before week 1. So I think that there's better options than taking 2 quarterbacks in these FPC drafts. Find yourself a dart throw, find yourself another person to just stash in your bench and just hope for the best. And then if need be, adjust before week 1 waivers and grab your quarterback.
Yeah, so shout out to Abib Agbatoba, who we all know is one of the best players in the world right now. And he's gone with a 1 quarterback build multiple times as well. So I can see it. For us, it was more of, I think Tua's got some upside, and we bet on Will Fuller, so we wanted to have a nice correlation play with Fuller. And Billy, you've talked about this on the GOAT District before, but so you can make Jay and Shelly and I all feel great about ourselves. Could you just share your projections for TJ Hawkinson and Gabe Davis, please?
Yes. Here, I'll pull them up. So that way I can actually speak to the exact numbers. I'm pretty sure, because I've said it enough times, is TJ Hawkinson has 137 projected targets. And then who was the second player?
Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis.
Oh, I love me some Gabe Davis. Gabe.
I know. I was happy he came back. You went Darrington Evans over Gabe Davis, which I was surprised. I had you pegged for Gabe Davis right there in the 13th round. I guess you were already with what is that, five wide receivers at that point. We talked about Evans, but maybe after you talk Gabe Davis, you can kind of share your thought process with that.
I'm also overweight on Gabe Davis. I mean, not just between FPC, but also best ball. It's just getting to the unhealthy amount, the 30 to 40% range. Gabe Davis, I have here projected as the number 2 target receiver, or target percentage receiver here for the Bills. I have him at 15% target share, 1% above Cole Beasley. So that's 94 targets, 56 receptions, 60% catch rate, 854 yards, and 8 scores. He led this team in touchdowns last year. I don't see a reason for him not to repeat here in 2021.
So Billy, Theo alluded to it. You're up in that 13th round. Evans was the pick. So we've got a couple questions in the chat. So there's follow-up questions to this, but I posted it here on the board from Josh McAtee. Who picked Evans with the Marvin Jones still on the board in the 12th round?
Oh, that's me, buddy. Me and Hubbard.
No. I know.
But we were saying, was that a you guys together, or was that a one of you guys pounding the table?
That's it. That's the question.
Hubbard's very high on Evans. I was higher on Evans last year than this year, but based upon the same kind of reasonings, it makes sense. I mean, we both think that Derrick Henry has been overused. We both think that his amount of carries that he has is it's wearing on his body. we both think that Evans was supposed to partake more in the passing game last year. They wanted to get him more involved, and then that hammy issue happened, and it just kind of derailed the season. We look at what they did this offseason. They didn't sign Julio till recently. They were rolling out with just AJ Brown, just Ferkser. I personally believe, and I think I can speak for Hubbard here as well, that Evans is going to be utilized in the passing game a lot. He's going to come out. I think he's going to start to see a little bit more of those carries, and they're going to relieve some of that workload from Henry here. There's not many running backs who are getting 330, 350 rushing attempts a year. And that's what Henry's seeing. It takes a toll on your body. And if this team is going to try to make it the distance and get into, the playoffs and into the Super Bowl, they're going to have to relieve some of that workload. And if he goes down, Darrington Evans is the league winner.
Yeah, we talked about that, and like you said, I think Evans has abilities as a receiver. It would be a different kind of use. It might even open up the offense and kind of provide more opportunities for Jones and Brown. But like you said, Evans is a very high-end handcuff that's not being treated that way. I thought we had that a little bit with Latin Murray, where we got him in the 11th round. Where I think I've seen him go in like the 10th. I've seen him go in the 9th. So yeah, it's great to have those kind of guys. And like you said, Derrick Henry's 27 years old, and he's got a ton of wear and tear. And Dave actually took Evans in our Hardway football guys one when I had Derrick Henry. So I was not too happy about Dave grabbing him there. I would have liked to have had the cuff. Jay, are you saying anything? I'm sorry. Go ahead, Billy.
So the other piece was that was between the 11th pick was our most disputed pick on the board here.
Landry.
Yep. Landry is the only share that Hub owns right now. And that was courtesy of yours truly here. And it really broke down to, at the end, Landry and Evans versus Madison and Marvin Jones. And those were the directions that we were thinking about going. Yep. There and had we had taken Madison in round 11, we would not have taken Evans in round 13. It would have changed the dynamic of this team a little bit. I'm a little higher on Laundry than Hub is, and being a good partner, he let me take my guy here, and I know he's high on Evans here, and I like Evans as well. So we took that guy here on 13. So I think either way is okay. But again, I'm overweight on Marvin Jones. I'm overweight on Gabe Davis. So some of these come into factor when you have multiple leagues and you're trying to diversify a little more.
And then Josh had asked this question. It might have been actually Shelly. Your question was the Juju pick. You had a question on that,
Juju,
Shelly?
Well, no, I think. The be mean to Billy segment. Now that you're on here, now I can be mean to you.
Feel free to. I have no problem people attacking me. I mean, you saw my post last week on Twitter. It's fire this week, dude. Throw flames.
I think the joke I was trying to make, and of course, who knows if they land? But I'm a volume shooter like Kobe Bryant, so if I go 6 of 24, I'm just glad I got the 6 in the basket. But hey, Billy, nevertheless, I think the question was like, who's wearing the pants in the Billy Hubbard relationship? But it sounds like, based on as you walk through like the Landry, the Evans, the Marvin Jones thought process, even though Jay, our guy here in the chat with us, got him on the stream with us, it sounds like you guys are just splitting a pant leg. So
no,
that
it's
feels
not
good.
about pants in this relationship. It's Hubbard and I have very similar thought process.
Yeah.
We both go through in a logical fashion. We both go through in a mathematical kind of fashion. We take a look at, we're both also tape guys. So we both take a look and say, this is what I like to see on tape. I'm a numbers guy. So we'll compare, notes to my projections or my numbers. But so far it's a new partnership, but so far in the new partnership, it's been pretty easy. I mean, we have gone through and he'll list off 3 names, and it's the same 3 names I have. And at that point, I'm fine taking any of those 3 and diversifying, or we look and say, hey, what do you have for ownership? What do I have for ownership? And then that's the deciding factor is, hey, let's diversify your portfolio this match, or let's diversify my portfolio this match. And it's been a pleasure to work with Hubbard. It's been I've really enjoyed his thought process. I've really enjoyed partnering with him in these drafts. He's a brilliant mind, and we've had a lot of similar thought process, and we really haven't had many disagreements so far.
No, that's good.
No, I think that's awesome. And I'm sure you guys are going to have great success this year. I had one more question for you, Billy, and then I want to get back to Jay. You guys have taken Noah Fant, who I love Noah Fant. Do you see, for you right now, is it Goddard or is it Fant? Because they kind of seem to be their own little tier, especially with the potential Ertz news.
I think it really depends on your team. It's not just a simple straight across answer for me. I think Goddard is being drafted near, for me at least. I've anticipated all offseason that Ertz is gone. So where I've been drafting him, I kind of assume that that's the price you're paying. You're also getting a bit of a discount based upon his week 14 bye week as well. I think that's the reason why he hasn't fully shot up boards yet. But I think it depends upon your team. Like if you're grabbing a Jonathan Taylor or a Miles Sanders, I don't think you can come back and grab a Goddard because now you have 2 week 14 buys or insert X name, whatever you want inside there, because it's really going to affect your playoff run here. So can it be done? Absolutely. But I think that you also just limit your upside and point totals for those weeks that matter most.
I think that's a really sharp answer on that one. And I think it'll be interesting to see if there's going to be a little bit more of a gap. And we talked about this on the pod earlier. I agree with you. I think people have been drafting him, like Ertz is already most likely gone. But I do think there could be a slight bump up for Goddard, ADP wise, because his role is just going to be more solidified. I think there'll be some drum beats in Philly about him potentially being their number one receiver. Although I'm a Devonta Smith guy. Jay, do you have any other takeaways from this draft, or any builds any builds you want to talk about?
Yeah, no, I mean, beyond the off the rails guys, my head's still spinning over that. I think I don't mind actually the other team, and I don't know if we've discussed it, but I don't necessarily mind Team 4. Just looking at them, I like the build of putting together Henry and Najee. My love for Najee. I do think he gets a ton of touches. I think the question that they have is tight end, and actually that's a question for Team 2 right there. Thinking about that 12th round, I've been going back and forth between Jonnu and Hunter Henry, and who I think is the right tight end target there. If Jonnu was on the board at your pick, who do you think you would have gone with?
Hunter Henry.
You still go with Hunter? You still go with Hunter?
I love the glass house.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he has a higher upside than Jonnu. I like them both. Don't get me wrong. I have teams where I've double tapped them both and gone Hunter Henry and then taken Jonnu Smith. That's more of a best ball build for me than it is an FPC. Mm-hmm. Just because I think on any given week between the two of them, you're going to have a top 12 tight end on a week-to-week basis. This offense, I think, this is one of the offenses that have had the most trouble kind of projecting. I mean, there's a few of them out there, but New England is one of them because we're looking at two very different style offenses, two different looks that we're going to see here in 2021. A very run-heavy Cam Newton offense, limited pass attempts, and then the potential of Mac Jones with, I think, a pass-heavy offense, more dump-offs. Rookie quarterback's going to lean on their tight ends, intermediate, across the middle routes, James White dump-offs as well. So I think it's this offense, I think, has a very wide range of outcomes that we could possibly see here. And I've been finding myself just kind of diversifying and grabbing either or, but I prefer to favor Henry versus the Jonnu.
I actually like I've seen a lot of arguments on Twitter about this, with some sharp people giving different players they think would pop if it was Mac Jones taking over for Cam. I actually think Damian Harris becomes a much larger value if we see Mac Jones, because Cam is going to take away the rushing touchdowns. I think that's the player that we want to bank on as a potential riser, because he's kind of a purgatory player as long as Cam is in there. You'll see a lot of 75 yards on the ground, maybe one catch, if that, and then no touchdowns. If it becomes Mac Jones, I think you could have multiple touchdown games out of Harris, who's obviously a talented rusher. So I think that was an interesting pick, especially where you guys got him in the 9th round.
Yeah, that's 2 nights in a row we've had him here on this kind of the same area. I didn't own a lot of Harris until recently. Again, you look at your portfolio, you try to diversify, you try to find any gaps or opportunities, and you say to yourself, hey, who am I underweight on? Who am I overweight on? Who can I add that I haven't? Am I missing something? Taking breaks and looking at film is a vital process when I'm building teams and I'm doing these drafts to just make sure I'm not overlooking anything, and then staying up on news. I completely agree with you, Theo. If Mac Jones ends up winning this job, or even comes in the first half of the season, I think Damian Harris would be a top 6 draft pick, 6, 7 probably range for me. He probably jumps up 2 rounds in ADP, kind of in that Chase Edmonds, Javonte Williams, James Robinson range, because
I totally
he's not getting vultured. And I mean, I'm a film guy. I mean, looking back, I've already started looking back at the runs down to 2020, and this is the first time I felt comfortable really drafting a New England running back. I mean, we've always had kind of the running back roulette in this backfield, but I think coming into this year, it's really the first time we've had defined roles. We know Damian Harris is going to be the guy on 1 and 2 downs. Yes, Sony Michel will probably mix in a little bit as change of pace or breathe or whatever it may be, and James White's going to be the 3rd down back, especially with Burkhead gone now. But I really foresee Damian Harris kind of taking a stranglehold on this running back 1 position here for New England. And if Mac Jones is the quarterback, I think his touchdown upside increases significantly.
Yeah, I like that call.
Love it.
Yeah,
that New England offense.
Oh, go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that New England offense, I think, has some sneaky upside. What they're building with Johnny Smith, Hunter Henry, they brought Kendrick Bourne in, guys that can run with a football and put pressure on the spine of the defense. And so you think about someone like a Damian Harris, we can take advantage of with that. It's just going to be awesome. Belichick talks about this a lot. Somebody like Chip Kelly talks about it a lot, but that loop, fighter pilots have to go with it. They're going to put the middle linebackers, the safeties into decision-making processes. They have to make a decision quickly, and that's going to open it up for a run game. I really like that pick, yeah, for sure.
The other piece I look at with Damian Harris is I'm a worst case kind of scenario guy. Best case scenario, Mac Jones wins. Damian Harris is the clear-cut goal line back. Worst case scenario, we have Cam Newton, who plays the first half of the season. And what happens with Damian Harris? Yeah, he's going to get vultured. But on the flip side, New England didn't have a good year last year. They're probably going to want to try to limit the negative factors of the Cam Newton game. They have most of their defense coming back. For a lot of the players who did sit out in 2020, this defense is anticipating to be stronger. Belichick probably plays more of an old school football scheme here, leans on the run a little heavier, try to take out the air from Cam Newton as much, and really leans on the run and plays old school football between defense and run. And I think that's a realistic outcome here for them if Cam Newton's under center, and then again the upside that we have if Mac Jones is there.
And Billy, just to challenge that a little bit, Ramondre Stevenson, I know we didn't talk about him a lot. I mean, I've been playing drafting weight. Ramondre Stevenson.
Billy is not a fan. Billy is
I know. Hey, fine. So look.
No, enlighten me. I'm fine.
No. We're playing best case, worst case.
Absolutely.
Worst case scenario, Ramondre Stevenson is a pass catching bully, and I think look. The one thing that we know about Bill Belichick, at least so far, what he's shown us is that, we can't trust him here. So I know that it looks like, we're sitting here now July 1st. Maybe there's defined roles. I don't trust Bill Belichick at all on that. So, where are you on this, old adage, and again, adage, anecdote, whatever you want to call it, of grab the cheapest Patriots running back? And obviously, Harris isn't at that point. But I think that, call it the worst case scenario, I could see a lot more worst case for Ramondre Stevenson, for Damian Harris coming through with that Ramondre Stevenson, just sitting there waiting in the wings. I know that you're not that guy, but I'm just saying, I think the worst case is even, there might be even further floor to Damian Harris. What are your thoughts from that perspective?
There is potential there. I mean, it's New England Patriots. I think, anything is in the realm of possibilities with Bill Belichick back there hiding underneath his hoodie. But I think that, I just don't see Ramondre Stevenson. Belichick also is very what's the word I'm looking for here? He's unforgiving with rookies and mistakes.
Yep.
And if one of those happens to Ramondre Stevenson, what's going to happen? He's not going to see the field for like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
If I'm playing that game, it's kind of what I do with the Niners this year. Like that's why I like the Mitchell pick. That's why I like Wayne Gallman. Like I think these players are going to be more involved, and people are willing to admit. I mean, same thing like with the Twitter fire this week. It's like Darrell Henderson. It's like waiting on those value players that are going to have it a little bit more of a role than people are anticipating. For me, I think if you were to push come to shove, if gun to the head, I'm taking Sony Michel over Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh, fair. Okay. Yeah. I'm taking, I agree with what you said. I'm taking only one red pen to the words you said, and I'm scratching the word rookie out of the Bill Belichick doesn't have patience for rookies and mistakes and fumbling. He doesn't have patience for anybody fumbling and making mistakes. But I'm with you, right? And I think that's why, like, Ramondre there, and I don't know where he went though. 1701 this draft. I mean, I think that's great value for him. And again, not knocking Damian Harris at all. Just trying to play that Bill Belichick. What do I know from him? And kind of, grabbing the cheapest Patriots running back. And obviously, in this case, as I stare at the board, that's Sony Michel, who's sitting on the waiver wire for us all to grab week 1 after he blows up in the preseason, of course. So.
Yeah, I mean, like if Damian Harris gets hurt in OTAs or in training camp here, I guarantee you it's going to be Sony Michel leading the charge week 1, and Ramondre Stevenson will spell in with James White there with his defined third round role. I just don't see New England really leaning on a rookie here in week 1, especially after the year they had. I think they're going to want to kind of eliminate any question marks and try to, move forward with success here in 2021.
So we've reached 12:15 here on the East Coast, and there's one last player I wanted to ask you about because we discussed taking him as well, and he was in our queue. Was Damian Williams? I'm of the opinion that Damian Williams is going to take that Tariq Cohen role. And I think Damian Williams is a very sneaky, high upside guy. If you, David Montgomery ended the year so well, but Damian Williams is a talented backup. And I think that, again, David Montgomery goes down, that could be a league winning type pick. Is that how you're viewing Damian Williams as well, Billy?
It was also kind of an insurance piece with David Montgomery.
There you go. I didn't notice that at the top.
Yeah, it was an insurance piece with David Montgomery. It's also kind of the reuniting with Matt Nagy and from the Kansas City days. And I think that we have upside here at Damian Harris. I mean, we saw what he did here with Kansas City. And we don't really quite know exactly to the extent of the health of Tariq Cohen, where it is he's going to be on track, but they may opt to rest him more and give Damian a little bit more of that role earlier in weeks. And if he succeeds, I think we see a little bit more Damian Williams. So it is a late round dart throw, but it's also a handcuff and insurance piece as well. So kind of kills two birds with one stone here for our build.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that a lot. Any final takeaways, Jay and Billy? Or we'll start out with Jay. Any takeaways?
No, it was a fun draft. Thank you for having me on. I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. Billy, thank you for coming on. Learned a ton from you just in a short time. So,
Jay, I'm really glad that you just popped on like seconds before the draft started. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. I loved drafting with you, Jay. It was great. I'm glad that I wasn't. I want to say that I'm glad that we weren't right next to one another with Billy as well. I thought value kept falling to us. It was nice little gaps. Billy, where can people find your work and any final takeaways?
Yeah, you can find me primarily on Twitter. It's going to be at FFMuzio. It's MUZIO, just like it's spelled down here. And then we have a YouTube channel here at Fantasy Data. That's all one word, Fantasy Data. We do live shows every Friday, and we're moving to twice a week now here. Starting next week here in July. We've got a bunch of beat writers coming on for our projections, and when we run through our team drill, so we'll run through team top to bottom. We'll go through every positional player on the team, discuss our projections, discuss what the beat writers are thinking. I think we have like 8 or 9 beat writers lined up for the season already, and we'll just get their takes on the offense and see if we're missing anything or if we're overanalyzing something, underanalyzing something, and adjust from there. And then fantasy data, of course, is fantasydata.com. I'm not writing much these days. I'm primarily drafting every day. And between drafting and YouTube, I'm pretty busy.
And Bill, before we move on there, everyone in the chat, we've still actually got a pretty nice group here. Look, smash the like on YouTube, smash the like on the Goat District podcast page, leave a review on YouTube, leave a review on the Goat District podcast page. We'd love to hear it, the 500,000 Billies. And look, there's extra incentive, right, Billy? Because I think that we've got a great thing going where we are reciprocating the Fantasy Data YouTube page. So if you District, if you love this, if you liked Billy coming on here at the very end, once you subscribe, once you watch these Goat District videos, you'll get some auto plays into some of Billy's content and vice versa. So love for everyone to like both pages, and I think that you'll like what you see of the Fantasy Data and the Goat District, of course. Jay, how about you? Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, no, J-Ogs on Twitter. Don't wait for doing anything for any websites yet. Maybe one day, but working kids are keeping quite busy. But I am pretty active on Twitter. I do play a couple different FFPC leagues, so look out for me there. But I try to keep a low profile as well. So.
Well, it was awesome having you on Jay, and obviously awesome having you on as well, Billy. I really enjoyed this as well, Shelly. This was a really fun draft with you. I want to give a shout out to JD from the Goat District. It is Canada Day, so we would be remiss if we didn't wish him a happy Canada Day. It's like their 4th of July kind of. So we want to give him a shout out on that. Happy.
It's Canada a boot Day. Time.
There you go. And next week we have Mario Puig coming on Tuesday night in the Goat District from RotoWire, and on Wednesday night we have Nelson Sousa. And we're extremely excited to have both of them on. Nelson's a very accomplished player, and Mario will have some good content as well. So we're bringing you great shows in the Goat District. And Shelly, when are we doing our 500,000 Billies again? Sometime in the next 10 days?
Next 10 days sounds good. I'm going to try to get a week vacation in next week. But first slow draft for the men event kicks off on Sunday. So I may pop on for like a quick 10-minute pod to discuss pick by pick. I have picked 12 there, but you and I will do a live draft probably in 10 to 14 days whenever I'm back in town.
Are you on the slow draft on the main, or are you on the fast draft?
Slow, the 6-hour one. I think
are we in the same one?
I don't know. Bip's in this one, Birchby's in this one, and one other player. Anyways, it was I didn't recognize a ton of the names. I think there's a few that kick off on the 4th. I think Dominic, who was also in the chat earlier tonight, I think he's got a slow kicking off on the 4th. So I think that they were building the leagues as people were signing up. So I don't know if you're in that one with me.
I just checked. No, we are not.
All right. Well, good. I'm 12. I'm 12 there. Should be fun. See how that one goes. All right, guys.
Well, thanks for having me on, boys.
Yeah.
Anytime, Billy. We love having you on.
Yeah. All right. Everyone subscribe. Love it. Thanks, District. Love you guys.
Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Bye.
Awesome.
That was awesome. That was really, really good. Thanks for popping on.
You're still live, by the way. You're still live.
Oh, well, I'm gonna leave the chat then. I guess so. We hit the wrong button. Everyone have a happy 4th of July, and take care. Thanks, Billy.
Later, man.